Toban. I'm the referee for tonight's game.
My name is Gerard Gauthier. I'm one of the linesmen for tonight's game, and I'm from Montreal, Quebec.
Matt Pavlich. I'm linesman for tonight's game. I'm from the Sioux.
And here's Mike Palmatier in goal tonight for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Down at the other end, you're looking at Glenn Chico Resch. And the game is underway. Number 2 in this quarterfinal series. This is Bob Cole from Long Island in New York, along with Brian McFarland. And look at it. It's starting already, Brian. They're beginning to hit. This is Maloney centering the puck. McDonald gets ready, took a shot, and Resch decides he better hang on to this. It's getting too tough already.
Well, Roger Nielsen, as you might expect, is going to have his Leafs in an aggressive, hard-hitting mood, just as he did the other night in game number 1, his first year coaching in the NHL playoffs. And I must say, Bob Cole, he's taking it very calmly.
Now the Islanders trying to move it out. They get it to center, and Salming pushed it back in again. Resch behind the net, stopping it. He'll do that at every opportunity to try to control the play in his own end for the defenseman. And they move it out now. Putbang got it up to Gillies. There's Nystrom moving in. Nystrom into the corner was bumped by Turnbull. They push at each other, hammering each other on this side. Salming was knocked down. Back of the net, Nystrom going into the corner. Maloney ran into Gillies. Turnbull goes in, and they hold it on the board. They played a minute of the first period, no score, and it's rough already.
Yeah, we mentioned the other night that Al Arbour went 19 consecutive years as a player and coach in the playoffs until he took over the Islanders, and what a marvelous job he's done in a few short years here, along with Bill Torrey, building this team into a NHL powerhouse.
Okay, we have Trottier at center ice. Now, I think he'll be going off. There he goes, number 19, and Wayne Merrick, along with Howitt and Billy Harris for the New York Islanders. The Leafs have Sittler at center. Will Williams, number 22, and Ron Ellis, number 6. There's Sittler against Merrick, deep in the Maple Leaf zone to the left of Palmatier. No score, a minute gone in the first period. Long shot by Pearson, and that's knocked down off the boards by Palmatier. Stefan Pearson, number 7, the defenseman, and he's got a good shot.
Bob, during the evening, we'll be bringing you the Montreal scoring plays as they develop in Montreal at the Forum, and we'll watch Wayne Merrick on these face-offs, too. He suffered an injured hand in the first game, and he also has the flu.
Boutet, number 15, on for the Maple Leafs. Back of the net. That's Glennie looking around. And it's Salming with his pass. Back to Glennie in front of the net. He got it down to center ice. Pearson with Hart. And the pass up on the wing. Stopped by Harris back in his own zone for Jerry Hart. Hart played it up again to Merrick. He was stopped at the blue line. Glennie can't move it out, but Salming does. Pearson. As the Islanders look organized at the center ice area. Hart is knocked flying at center ice by Butler. And here's Jones for Toronto. Out to Butler at center. Salming catching up. Here's Salming coming in. Gets set. Took a screenshot. The puck rolling right in front. And we've got a penalty coming up against Pearson of the New York Islanders. He took the grab on the Leaf player in the crease.
Stephen Pearson took the penalty, and now we have fist flying down there. Salming moved in. He was trying to get that loose puck in the crease area when Stephen Pearson grabbed Salming, the two great Swedish players, in a matchup. Boutet was in there as well. He may be going, well, he is going now for the Leafs. And let's see if there are additional penalties here.
From the Nassau Coliseum, this is Stanley Cup 78.
The Canadian flag prominently displayed again tonight here at the Nassau County Coliseum. Bob Cole, I can't understand why Boutet would want to get involved there and draw a penalty after Stephen Pearson had already been given a penalty for holding Salming at 150. Here's Salming firing it into the crease area. Well, you can see the lock that Stephen Pearson has on the lead player.
And now Glenny, right in front of the net, and Sittler had a chance to open the scoring, but Resch came up big, covering on the short side. They're five-a-side now, and Lewis starts out for the Islanders. At center is Bourne. Bourne up across the line, took a weak shot off the boards. Franche was stopped by Ellis, and they hold it for a second. Now Salming gets it loose. Into the corner on the other side. Glenny looking around. He got it by Bourne for Salming. Here he comes. 2.5 minutes into the first period and no score. Sittler lobbed one in. Ellis going after it. But Resch handed it right to Ellis. Ellis tried to center it, and the Islanders break it up. Come right back, put by Potvin. At center ice with Pache on his left. That's a dangerous twosome. There's a shot, and that was wide. Pache has it. On the other side, he's stopped, but here's Bourne. And he was bumped by Salming. Sittler now coming out with Ellis on his right. They're across the line together at center. Sittler going in, tried to fake the defensive Potvin, but could not do it. They go to the boards, back to the net. Ellis is after it. He was pounded off the puck. And Pache, I believe, will be going off. The crowd does not like it. But Brian Pache is going off for charging.
He's a big hero here in Long Island, as you might expect. Brian Pache charging the call. 3:03 the time. And he joins Stephen Pearson in the penalty box at 3:03 of the first period. So we have one Leaf in there, Pat Boutet, with 47 seconds left, the same amount of time remaining as Pearson. And let's take a look now at the penalty on Brian Pache for charging.
Okay, now the Leafs with the man advantage with 3 minutes and 3 seconds gone in the first period, and there's no score. And the Leafs send on Sittler with McDonald, Williams, and Salming. A great opportunity for Toronto to open the scoring. With the big shooters on, the Islanders have Hart along with Henning. And there's the face-off. Marshall is the other man on for New York. Salming in good position from the line. Threw it by Sittler and Williams. Now Sittler has it, looks out for Salming. Sittler takes a look at the net, doesn't shoot it. Still in control, now gives it to Salming. He play it back to Sittler. Sittler shoots. He put it right on. The rebound comes to Salming. He passed it off to one side. McDonald. He couldn't hit Sittler, and it was cleared down the ice by Henning. Lauren Henning intercepting the pass. 10 seconds left in the first two penalties. The Leafs with a man advantage, and Salming brings it in. For Darryl Sittler. Sittler closing in. Set up. Williams back to Sittler on a skate. Now it comes back to Salming. He was taken away by Pearson, who had just come from the penalty box. Boutet flipped it across the line. Henning now for New York. Shooting it out to center. This is McDonald winding up, looking for a hole. They're tough to find on this New York Islanders team. Sittler carries on. Sittler breaking right in front around the goal. Sittler back to the line. Here's Turnbull. Salming takes a shot, deflected wide. And Resch tipped it away for Harris. Henning coming in, took the shot, and that's deflected by Salming. And it's up into the crowd. No score. 4.5 minutes gone in the first period.
Hey, we've got a great start to this hockey game here tonight. We've had a little bit of everything. The tempers have been frayed a little bit already. Sittler playing in his 42nd career playoff game. Missed a great scoring opportunity early on, and we must comment on the penalty killing of the Islanders, particularly Lauren Henning, one of the great penalty killers in hockey today. Leafs had all kinds of trouble trying to penetrate while they had the man advantage.
There is no score. 4 minutes, 30 seconds gone in the first period. And the Islanders' Pache has 33 seconds left in his charging penalty. So the Leafs still have the man advantage. Sittler is going off, as you see. And Stan Weir is on between Ellis and Maloney. Dennis Potvin back in his own zone. He looked for an opening and shoot it off the boards. It goes down to the Leaf blue line. Turnbull starts from there. Couldn't control it. Henning stopped it. Now Johansson for Turnbull. Tried to get it ahead to Maloney. Maloney shoots it from center. Ellis trying to catch up. Lewis was there first. There it goes. Down the ice. 4 seconds left at Quatche's penalty. He's standing up. The crowd roaring. And here's Turnbull coming in. Islanders at full strength. Turnbull into the corner. Looks around. Trying to lob it in front of a stop. And now Suzuki for New York. Laid it up on the line. This is Quatche. And he's fresh from the penalty box coming in. Quatche cuts for the goal. And he's pulled from behind. And he goes right on. And again, the back thinking maybe a penalty might have been called. But here we go to center ice. It's Johansson and Weir for Toronto. Back to Johansson. Into Weir. Didn't reach him. And it's clear to center. Knocked down by Johansson. A good play by the Leaf defenseman. Potvin, number 5. He spins away from Maloney easily. Comes up across the line. He nearly got through. It's tipped to the blue line, but not out. Suzuki took his shot off the boards in the corner. Now Turnbull. He takes his time, bringing it out with a nice pass for Butler at his center ice. Butler shoots one. Resch gloved it and threw it off to one side. Potvin head to Bourne. Nearing the 7-minute mark of the first period. No score in the hockey game. And it's been a great one so far. Here comes the Islanders, led by Hart. Pass up to center. The Leafs breaking it up. Now Suzuki shoots it. They're changing as the play goes on at lower pace in this first period. And look at Salming now. Up to the line at center. This is Salming passing off. Jones cuts in, took a shot and a check. And he went flying as Jerry Hart hit him. Jerry Hart, number 2, back to the net. 6.5 minutes gone to the first period. They're unable to score so far at center ice. Pearson has stopped. And now Glenny across the line on a solo effort. A high lob shot grabbed by Resch. He dropped it right away. The Leafs keep it in. Salming pounded one off the boards. Hart has it now. They've reached 7 minutes. It's still scoreless in the first period. And now Merrick shoots one to the line. Merrick has stopped, and McDonald trying to catch up to it. Beat to it by Lewis. Now Jones is trying, and McDonald has to rush back outside the line. Jones made a good play, waiting for him to get onside. On it. The Islanders coming back. Nystrom shoots it in. He was checked by Salming. And the Leafs are back to cover up. Coming up to the 8-minute mark. No score. Gillies took a shot. Intercepting that pass. And it was stopped by Paul Mateer. Now it's center. Gillies is tied up. And a penalty coming up for Salming. Gillies was upended. Sent flying by Salming. And the Leaf player goes off. Tonight's Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from the Nassau Coliseum on Long Island.
Here's the penalty to Boreas Salming for hooking at 7:34. Salming in the penalty box, and Al Arbor has now reunited his big line of Bossy, Gillies, and Trudge. Let's see what happens.
Okay, Brian. Nearing the 8-minute mark of the first period. No score. Now the Islanders, having filled a penalty, have the man advantage. Trudge, center, good up the draw. And he got the face-off. Bossy, he's dangerous. He was stopped by Turnbull, though. Trudge has it now. Good move in the corner to pull Turnbull. Looking around for Potvin. The shot deflected high off the glass. Pearson coming in from the line. Back into the corner again for Trudge. Trudge looks back to the blue line to Potvin. Potvin over to Pearson. Pearson winds up, rolling into Bossy. Oh, that shot was stopped by Palmateer. Bossy is sent flying by Johansson, and then Johansson cleared it down the ice. 1 minute and 25 seconds left in the penalty to Salming. No score in this first period, and here's Gillies dropping it back to Pearson at center. He shoots it in. The Islanders pouring after it on the power play. Trudge was fooled by Jones. Jones back in the net. He had trouble. Turnbull couldn't find it. Trudge knocked it loose. Trudge after it. He was bumped. And now they hold it on the board. It comes loose again. Finally, the whistle goes. We'll get a face-off in the Maple Leaf zone to the left.
Palmateer in the lead goal with a record over the regular season of 34 wins, 19 losses, 9 ties. He said yesterday that he gambled coming out the other night with Nystrom breaking through the Leaf defense. He gambled and he lost. He was quick to admit it.
58 seconds left in Salming's penalty. There's no score in this first period, and they've played 8 minutes and 36 seconds. The big line, Trottier, Gillies, and Bossy on for New York. Jim Jones. Good penalty killer is on for Toronto. Pearson at the blue line to Potvin at the point. Potvin closing in, centered it. Stopped by Glennie. Good play, and Glennie slashes it all the way down the ice and rests. Now, 42 seconds left in the Leaf penalty. No score on the Islanders' power play. Potvin coming to center. Potvin up over the line. Still has it. Good control on it. Potvin rolled it. It went off the stick. Turnbull blocked it. And Potvin has it again. Potvin comes back out to the blue line. Took a shot. Deflected. And down they go in front of the net. And it's cleared away. Paul Matier made a big stop with Bossy in the goal crease. It's cleared down the ice by Ferguson. 12 seconds left in Salming's penalty. Here's Pearson. They'll have to move it quickly. Salming gets ready to step back on. And it's Potvin racing in with Nystrom shooting one. This was a low shot and wide. Salming is back on. The Leafs have killed the penalty. There's no score nearing the halfway mark of the first period. This is Kazicki, number 21, dropping it back to Pearson. Coming out for New York, and Bourne has it up the line. He was stopped. Here's Sittler going in with McDonald. McDonald shoots one. A hard shot was wide. Maloney let it go. Sittler went after it quickly. He was sent flying, but it was grabbed by Resch right in the crease. This is Stanley Cup 78 from the Nassau Coliseum on Long Island. Face off in the New York zone to the right of Resch. No score at the halfway mark of the first period. They're out of position. They didn't drop it in. Now it comes back to the line. Salming took a shot. High one grabbed by Resch. Maloney went after it, and it was cleared to Marshall for Harris. He gets it to center. There's Merrick after it. Stopped by McDonald. They both fall to the ice. Into the corner. It comes right back to Hart. Hart on a bad angle, can't shoot it. It's deflected back of the goal, and McDonald comes up with it for Toronto and strikes out. A pass went by Sittler, and Bert Marshall back in his own zone. Marshall out front of the net. That looked dangerous for a second. Now it's Howard shooting one from center. Alden Weir got a stick on it. Salming for McDonald, lining up with Sittler in the lead zone and coming out now. A long pass too far for Salming, and it's played off Salming's stick over the glass into the crowd. No score in this first period.
Bob, the best scoring chance in the game so far came when Potvin circled in front. Look at Bossy waving at him there, number 22, and Bossy got that pass, almost kicked the puck loose, and Palmatier got the patch down. The puck slid by the open side of the net.
And Glennie made a big play there on Bossy, taking him out of the play. Bossy had that short side wide open.
They were saying about him before the game, he seems to materialize from nowhere, Mike Bossy. You think you have an eye on him, then suddenly he's right beside the net, taking a whack at a puck, and that's how he scored 53 goals in the regular season.
Fantastic anticipation, that young man. Always there, as you say, Brian. In good position for a shot or a tip in. Here's a long drive by Hart that was deflected. Boutet for Salming. Salming has seen a lot of action in this first period so far. Salming again. He'll try to clear it. Goes back to his own goal with it. That's Kazicki, number 21, in front of the net. Boutet couldn't move it out. Nystrom has it. Nystrom tried to drop it back to Marshall and couldn't. Here's Ferguson. Coming out to center ice, Ferguson. Got a squire from the Islander blue line. Knocked down. And wheeling away. The Islanders led by Nystrom. Coming in with Kazicki. Nystrom couldn't get around to the fence. Butler got back to tie him up. Salming chopped at it. And it went across the blue line. Marshall couldn't keep it in. He was mounted by Ferguson. They're going to be penalties again. They go out of the center ice. That's Marshall taking a thumping from Ferguson.
Marshall came into Ferguson with his stick high. He was going to get the penalty. You could see the arm go up by referee Andy Van Helleman. And then as both players went down, Marshall dropped stick and gloves. And I think he took the worst of it against the Leaf center, George Ferguson.
With a score, New York Islanders nothing. Toronto Maple Leafs nothing. This is Stanley Cup 7.
Well, the referee called that one correctly, Bob, although the fans here don't think so. Watch Marshall get the stick up here against George Ferguson. In upper corner of your screen right there. Then the players sprawl to the ice. They get up with fist flying. So Marshall gets 2 minutes for high sticking, 5 minutes for fighting. Ferguson gets the major penalty for fighting at 11:42.
So again, the Leafs will have the man advantage. The minor penalty goes to Marshall, and it'll be served by Gillies of New York. Marshall, of course, as you just heard from Brian McFarland, has a major penalty along with Ferguson of the Maple Leafs.
And the team scoring the first goal has won 11 of the 13 games played so far in the playoffs, and the only 2 games where the losing team scored first. New York defeated Buffalo 4-3 in overtime. Detroit defeated Atlanta 3-2.
8 minutes, 11 seconds remaining in the first period. There is no score. The Islanders winning the first game Monday night, 4-1. And now the Leafs with a man advantage. Turnbull played it in with McDonald. McDonald on the boards in the corner. Maloney. Maloney gets it back to the point. Turnbull throw it back to him. It went by him. Back to the net. Fresh stopped it. And it's cleared down the ice by Conrad. Through everybody. A minute and 30 seconds left in the minor penalty. Marshall. That's being served by Clark Gillies. 7:40 remaining in the first period, no score. And the Leafs with the man advantage coming up slowly is Salming. At center, he shoots it in on the boards. Resch again stopping it. That did a little trick or two on him. Back of the net, but the Islanders pick it up and clear it down the ice again. A good penalty-killing team, the New York Islanders. So far, the Leafs have been unable to get something dangerous going on this power play, and a minute left in it. Here's Sittler shooting it off the board. They'll go in quickly now and try to force the Islanders into a mistake back there. Sittler has it in the corner. Got it loose for Maloney. He was bumped right away. Sittler comes in to help him. Sittler always coming up with that puck. Centered it. Here's the backhand shot. They score. It was Turnbull who got the pass from Sittler. And it's a power play goal. 1-0 Toronto.
So the Toronto Maple Leafs draw first blood here at the Nassau County Coliseum as Ian Turnbull playing well up on this man advantage opportunity as the Leafs shovel the puck along the boards and finally get it out into a scenario where they can get a shot away. Here's one shot. Turnbull flips a backhand just beyond the stick of Glenn Resch. 1-0 Leafs. Let's watch it from this angle as Turnbull, going to his backhand, just finds the corner. Sittler and Maloney will draw assists.
13 minutes and 3 seconds. The time of the goal. Ian Turnbull. There it is, and it's 1-0 Toronto. But Sittler, you have to give full marks to Sittler on that play. He went in and dug it out from the corner and set it up. Now the Islanders down a goal. Shoot it into the Toronto zone. And it's Salming who has it again. Salming's pass to Ellis. Ellis with Sittler coming out to center ice, back to Ellis. Ellis gets his shot away. That was wide. At the blue line, it was stopped by Glennie. But now, Bossy plays it to center. Clark Gillies rolled it over the leaf line, and Sittler is back against Bossy. Bossy centered it. Oh, Mateer comes out to grab it. It was a bouncer, and he gloved it, and he held on. This Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from the Nassau Coliseum on Long Island. 6 minutes and 24 seconds remaining in the first period. Toronto 1, New York no score. Face-off in the lead zone. Trottier tied up on the face-off by Jones. Salming's pass comes from Glennie to Jones. Jones shoots it from center, off the boards, and Resch back there again. Covering up in the corner. Bossy was bumped right away by Williams. Hart for New York with Pearson. Now he starts out. Right in front of the net, the pass to Gillies in center ice. Gillies coming in. Across the line, he was stopped by Salming. A neat play by the Leaf defense. Hart waiting for Gillies to come back on side with Pearson. And it's Hart number 2 up to Bossy. Back to Hart again. Hart across center. Into Bossy. Bossy gets ready. He cuts for the net. From the corner, centered it. It hit a skate and bounced by Paul Mateer. Hart kept it blue line. On the other side, Williams is there first. He and Bossy bump together. Mark Gillies to Bossy. For Hart. Hart took a shot. Volunteer stopped that. It's cleared by Crochet back to Hart again. Hart takes a shot. Now he lets it go. Cleared away. Williams ran into Hotman. Hotman around the goal. Hotman looking for someone free. And he had to drop it behind the net where Salming golfed at it. Henry coming up to the lead. Here's a shot. Broken stick. The puck comes back to the blue line. Crochet. He took a shot with blocked. New York net is empty. Now finally, Paul Matier grabs it. And the Maple Leafs coming up with a penalty for interference in front of the Leaf goal. Live from the Nassau Coliseum, the Stanley Cup playoff.
So we have the Tiger Williams in the penalty box for interference at 15:07. Leafs having a lot of trouble clearing Big Gillies out of that slot area, and Bossy was there causing trouble as well.
Now the Islanders with a man advantage. Kazicki is at center ice with Bourne on the left wing and Nystrom on the right side. Hutman back of the line gets the puck, took a shot, and that hit Jones. He's racing down against Pearson. Jones with Ellis catching up. Jones gets set. He doesn't shoot it. Gets it back to center ice to kill some time. The Leafs shorthanded and they hold it on the boards. No further play.
Let's go downstairs briefly to Dave Hodge.
We have Showdown for you in the first intermission. It's the mini game featuring Logie Vachon and Wayne Stevenson as the team captains. Of course, they are the goaltenders. And we'll have Howie Meeker with highlights of this rousing first period. The Leafs leading by a goal. Let's go back to Bob and Brian.
Okay, David. With 4:39 remaining in this first period, Toronto up by a goal, 1-0. A minute 40 seconds left in Williams' penalty. It's cleared into the Maple Leaf zone. They're offside at the blue line, and it's called back.
We talked earlier about the team scoring the first goal having the best opportunity to win these playoff games, and home teams have also done well. Home teams have won 10 of the 13 games played so far. The only visiting teams to win, Toronto at Los Angeles, Philadelphia at Colorado, Detroit at Atlanta.
Paul Matier getting up slowly. Adjusted his equipment and he's ready again now. Face off outside the Leaf line. Knocked down the ice by Johansson. Hotman, one of the big leaders of this New York club, starts his power play rush. 1:25 left in the Leaf penalty. And it's Hotman playing it over. That's going to be offside. Nystrom was on the fly, but it was Kazicki across the line ahead of him.
Al Arbor had Bossy playing on this line very briefly in this hockey game, and it appears that he's reunited him now with Gillies and Trottier. That's been the big super unit of the Islanders all season long.
1:21 left in the Leaf penalty. Toronto 1, New York no score. 4:14 remaining in the first period. Up to center. Hotman knocked it down with his glove. Pearson, number 7, shoots it in. Here comes Crochet, but it's Salming clearing it out off the boards and down the ice. Resch comes out of the net, 15 feet or so. And now Hotman with a minute left for the Leaf penalty coming out. Hotman looking around, sets it up for Crochet. Crochet up across the line. No, he didn't get across it at first. Bossy had to come back on side. Now he played it over for Gillies. Gillies closing in. Gillies looks around. Handles it back to the blue line. Here's Pearson's shot. Great play by Stefan Pearson for Gillies. 1-1.
Pearson had such a great game the other night for the Islanders. And now this rookie defenseman from Sweden sets up the tying goal. Hardly hear yourself think in this arena right now. Gillies tucks it in behind Palmadeer, just inside the post. Low along the ice. The Islander captain started the play over to Pearson as we watch it from this angle. Pass right to Gillies. Pretty play by the Islanders at 16 points on the power play.
Pearson and Trottier got assists. Well, that was a great play by Pearson on the blue line. He didn't try to hit the net. He saw Gillies going for the hole and threw it in there. And Gillies, as you saw, just knifed it in behind Paul Mateer. 1-1 now.
Bob, we have 2 power play goals in the hockey game. First one by Turnbull from Sittler and Maloney, then Gillies from Pearson and Trottier, although they call him Trottier down here.
Okay, here's Jerry Hart. Up to Trottier at center. Trottier played it near the line. Gillies took a swipe at it, but McDonald has it. McDonald by Bossy. Rolled it in over the New York line. Out of the net is Rest. It's cleared into the corner. Now Gillies pokes it down the ice. This will be icing. As Turnbull goes back to touch it with 3:07 remaining in the period. Goal of the game. Or Turnbull. The Islanders clearing it for Gillies. He was stopped by McDonald. And again they hold it for a face-off in the New York zone.
Got 2:58 to play here at the Island, and Buffalo is tied with Philadelphia 1-1 there in the first period.
The draw, McDonald's shot. That was deflected in front. Gillies went down to one knee. He and Williams. And the puck hit Gillies. Bounced away from the net. Now the Islanders having difficulty coming out. Sittler tried to set up Williams in front of the goal. Williams was belted up the far side. Now it's cleared to the line where Sittler stopped it. He took a shot. That hit Gillies. Sittler hangs on to it again, but Freely's offside. And it's called at the New York blue line.
There's no place for anybody who doesn't skate with his head up.
You're watching the Stanley Cup quarterfinals coming to you live from Long Island in New York. The score is tied 1-1 with 2 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in the first period. Look at Trottier moving at center. Up to Gillies. Gillies was stopped though, and Sittler didn't see the pass from Glenny. Hot man number 5 back in his own zone. He's on the defense with Dave Lewis. Gillies going off on a change. The Islanders changing now as the play goes on. And the Leafs bring it back. Led by Sittler coming in. He tried to go through and lost control of it. Now Glenny for Salming. Watched by Howitt. Salming rolled it ahead for McDonald and Sittler. McDonald was bumped. Pearson for Lewis. Lewis fell, but he got the puck down the ice anyway. This is Brian Glenny in his own zone. Up to center to McDonald, but he was trying to get back. He was offside at center ice.
There's Lanny McDonald, scored 47 goals during the regular season. Just one short of the all-time Leaf record held by Frank Mahovlich. Martin and Barber scored the goals for Philadelphia. Makita and Hicks have scored for Chicago. Marcano's replied for Boston. It's 2-1 Chicago, still in the first.
On the draw, it comes back to center ice, and Hart, a high bouncer, didn't quite hit the ice. Paul Mateer came out to prevent that, and he gloved it back for Turnbull. He's just waiting. That's Ferguson going to his left. Puck comes the other way, though, and got by Boutet down the ice. This will be icing with Hart back. It'll come back to the Leaf zone again. 1:25 remaining in the period.
I talked to Harold Ballard before the game. I said, what happened to your prediction on Monday night when he said win in 4? And he said, well, the cards just didn't come up right. But he said, I did bring all my directors from Maple Leaf Gardens down here, treated them for the 2 games along with their wives. He said, I've also given them a trip anywhere American Airlines flies. So he said, it's kind of a nice thing to be a director of the Toronto Maple Leaf Hockey Club. I don't know how you get to be one, though.
Practice, Brian. Practice. 1-1. The score. 1:20 left to play in the first period. And again, they hold it on the board. They're just covering up now. A little leery about mistakes in one's own defensive end, where the Leafs are now trying to move it out. Every chance, of course, near the boards, they'll hold it.
His first choice of the Islanders used to deliver papers for Leaf coach Roger Nilsson. Got $2 every morning. Then he went to history class where Nilsson was the teacher.
Here's Boutet racing after it. Can he get there? Yes, he can. Took a backhand shot off the net, but Fresh gloved it anyway. And he held on, and another face-off this time in the New York zone.
Roger Nielsen's come a long way from the time he used to have the largest paper route in Toronto and teach school on the side and coach Bix Pickles and then on to Aurora and Peterborough and the Central League and finally his first year in the NHL, and he's done a superb job.
Score tied, 1-1, 1 minute and 6 seconds remaining in this first period, and it's been a great period of hockey. That's Andy Van Hellemond now, center ice waving the Leaf player Salming back to the bench. They've made their final change on this play. The Islanders, of course, the home team, have the advantage of the last player change, the last move. So now we're set to the left of Resch. Waiting for Gauthier to get back to position. The other linesman, here comes McDonald. He got that one a bit too high, and it went off the glass. A minute remaining in the period. Score tied, 1-1. It's cleared up near the New York line. Maloney was stopped, and it's Harris playing it on the right side for Merrick. He was taken out of the play by Maloney, and here's McDonald again. He's coming in. Look out for this one. And he really caught it hard, but it was wide. It's centered. Resch goes down. Scramble for it, and the goaltender has it somehow jammed outside the goal line.
My, oh my, what a shot that Lonnie McDonald has. In fact, Nystrom scored a picture goal here on Monday night. Said, gee, if I can only shoot the puck like Lanny McDonald, what a hockey player I'd be. Close call there in the last minute of play here in the first period. As Sittler drills one from a sharp angle. Resch goes down. Lanny is circling behind the net. And they cover up.
40 seconds remaining in the first period. The score tied. Islanders 1 and the Maple Leafs 1. Now just outside the rim of the circle, it's Harris and McDonald doing a lot of pushing. There they're back ready to go at it again. Look at that. Now they drop it in and it's called. They were out of position. This time Harris had moved up, but McDonald and Harris have that fencing going on. One trying to prevent the other from moving. Watch him now. Puck is dropped in. There's the push. No, it's not dropped in. Now it is. And it comes right back to Harris, so he did get away from McDonald and cleared it up to center ice. McDonald went after Harris at the far side. Now McDonald is upended by Harris. They have their skates tangled. The Islanders outside the line with 20 seconds remaining. McDonald went after Bourne. And the Leafs come back out. It's Sittler with Salming. Salming going in. And I think they're offside. Yes, they're called. Look at McDonald go after Bourne now. I'll tell you, they're going to get this one going before very long. They really have something on the move.
Well, Lanny McDonald had about 3 good hits in the last 12 seconds, and he finished it off by wrapping Bourne into the boards after Bourne had slammed Salming into the glass. McDonald, a very aggressive shift. Crowd all standing. Let's see if we can catch the start of that. Started, as you mentioned, Bob, on the face-off against Harris. They collided and banged each other about 4 times. Now watch out, Mr. Bourne. Here comes Lanny on the replay. And Sittler put a headlock on Bourne.
Well, he's going off, Brian, Lanny McDonald. And now he had something to say to Andy Van Hellemond, but he's going off for cross-checking and the stick up. But as you pointed out, Brian, he had 2 or 3 shots out there. Just 11 seconds left in the period. And McDonald is off.
Been an exciting first period here at the Island. Dr. Williams telling me before the game, he said, tell all the folks out west that I'm on an island surrounded by sharks, but never fear the tigers here. The Islanders have a lot of Western representation, too, on their roster, and they were all wondering if the game was national tonight and if the folks back home would be able to see them play. Of course they are.
And they're watching a whale of a second game of this quarterfinal series across the country. Glad you could be with us. 10 seconds remaining in the period. They were out of position. The puck was cleared into the New York zone, but they'll bring it back out to do it again just outside the New York line. They killed 2 seconds. 9 remaining now. Score tied, 1-1. Jones against Pizicki. And it's Jones with a draw back to Salming. He just shoot it in. It's tipped in back of the net. And that's caught by number 5, running out the clock now as the horn goes to end the first period. And it was an exciting period of hockey. That's an old cliche, but it's true. Right here in Long Island, they came out fighting tonight, and they each came up with a goal in the first period. And so the score at the end of period 1 is Toronto 1, the New York Islanders 1.
Teams, let's join the action now as we present Showdown 78. The Fat Cats, Vachon, Dion, Schott, and this man, Guy Lapointe, who led the Fat Cats to a 3-2 win over Tony Esposito's Hot Shots. Howie Meeker, big goal here.
He had 2 of them just like that. Beauties.
And this was the scene as Wayne Stevenson's Sweat Hogs defeated Chico Resch's Banditos 2-1 in another Showdown minigame matchup.
The other man on that team, Rick McLeish. Watch this masterpiece. He holds the puck, skates by it, gets the goalie down, and puts it upstairs. Super goal!
Tonight, game 1 of our 2-game total goal final on Showdown 78. Brought to you by Canadian Pacific. All right, you goaltender captains, who's going to win the big game and why?
Well, I think it's going to be a real tough game. It's going to be hard fought. I expect probably to be maybe a couple of small brawls, you know.
Won't even close.
Oh, don't give me that. A little guy like you is going to beat us.
We've been working on the system for the past day and a half, and I'm telling you, there's nobody going to beat us.
We saw your system, and we don't know what to do about it, I have to admit.
Oh yeah, I'm telling you.
It's called chaos.
Especially on the 2 games, you know, like the first game, they had a chance. But in 2 games like this, they don't stand a chance at all.
Well, enough of this debate. Let's see what happens on the ice.
The real leader of the Fat Cats, Marcel Dion. We'll be right back.
Here's a look at our mini rink. Quickly, let's review the rules. A 5-minute game, 2.5-minute periods, 3-on-3 with 1 alternate, no body checking, no slap shots. That means you can't raise the stick above the waist. Non-stop action all the way with 20-second penalties. Hey, Howie, those guys are ready.
I'll tell you, they really want to play this game.
Go, go, go. All set to go. The Fat Cats starting with Schott and Lapointe. The Sweat Hogs with McLeish and Salming.
Look at that, Marcel. He never stops hollering, does he? When he's on the ice, he plays. And well. Oh, McLeish gives them big deep there to retain possession of the puck.
Remember, fans, this is the first game of our 2-game total goal final. Every goal a big one. He wasn't listening, Howie.
Oh, what a shot. Beauty. Complaining about a slap shot? No way. That's a snap shot, not slap.
Well, Steve Schott agrees with you.
Boy, did he pick the corner.
That's it. That's the way. That's the way.
Good save. That Shutt's always on that puck, isn't he?
All over the ice. 1-0 the score. Fat Cats in front.
Lapointe blocked that one.
Good move.
Save. Great. Vachon really moved out on that shot. Shoot! Ooh, another one.
Good toe stop by Wayne Stevenson.
Oh, 2 in a row. Lapointe's moving to the top of the circle and getting good shots.
Go. 2-1. Another stop.
How about that? On Lapointe, that's 3 excellent shots he's had. Here's the big change.
Lanny McDonald out for the Sweat Hogs. Marcel Dion on the ice now.
That Lapointe now has had 4 shots right from the slot. Good pass right in front of the net. That's getting a new puck and play in a hurry. Blocked the shot.
Still 1-0 for the Fat Cats.
Oh, Lapointe tried to make the big deke. Almost did. Oh, look at that.
Good move by Salming, just wide of the net.
Gosh, they handle the puck well.
Here we go. That was a slap shot. Yes, they're ruling it a slap shot. I think Salming's going to get a 20-second penalty. That's it. Oh, this could be costly.
2-on-1.
Time running out, first period.
Back pass by Dion. Oh, what a goal! Super pass by LaPointe right on Dion's stick, and he put it up high. 2-0.
There's the end of the period. It's 2-0 Fat Cats. Shutt wants to make sure they count his first goal. Scoreboard reads 1-0.
Why did I get a penalty then?
No, first goal. I scored.
It was not a slap.
That's it.
Okay.
That was a snap.
They're going to count it 2-0. You'd think they were playing for the Stanley Cup. We'll be right back.
I'm not sheep.
Well, the Spread Hogs are discussing strategy. What in the world can they do here, Howie?
Get those shots, I think.
I would think maybe add a little offense. They're down 2-0. Here's the disputed goal. Oh, did he pick that top corner?
But it wasn't a slap shot, as we'll see again. Look, stick below the waist.
And look at him looking at the puck as he should.
But this one, stick well above the shoulders. It was a slap shot.
Good call. Watch this goal and watch the pinpoint pass by LaPointe right on Dion's stick and up high. Got Stevenson out of position.
Sweat Hogs trailing by 2, and away we go. Second period.
Okay, fellas, let's roll. Come on.
Hey, they're starting 2 forwards, McDonald and McLeish.
Oh, it didn't take long to pay off. A shot along the ice.
2-1. 2-1, and it's a close one now.
Good shot by McLeish. Make too many of those passes. We're in trouble.
Hey, that strategy seems to be paying off. Sweat Hogs getting a lot more shots now.
Look at that LaPointe. Blocked 2 shots in a row with his stick. Good save. Did you see where Vachon looked?
Oh, what a move! Great!
It's 3-1 now. Sweat Hogs trail by 2.
That's a point. What a move he put on McDonald. Went from his forehand to his backhand and then picked a corner.
Pretty goal.
Way to check, Steve.
Take one to Bossy now?
He's not looking at the puck.
Okay, go ahead. That's it.
Look at that Vachon. He knows they're going to shoot. He's way out on top the crease. No way you're going to beat him with a shot. Ooh.
Boy, got the goal stick down there just in time.
Okay.
I don't know where that shot gets all the energy.
Come on. Get up.
There they've made the change.
Okay, Salming on there now for the Sweat Hogs. The point, he never takes a rest.
Brian, there's no doubt at all, up to this point in time, that Guy LaPointe is the outstanding hockey player on the ice. He's done everything. He's controlled the puck. He's great on offense, just super. And playing defense, got to be the best. Having a great game.
Time running out on the Sweat Hogs now. They trail by 2.
Look at that, he deflected a shot.
Fat Cats would love to go into the second game of this 2-game total goal final with a 2-goal margin.
They need a goal. Oh, sounding in the slot. Why did they need that one?
Not by much. And time running out now. Another good save by Rogie. 15 seconds to play. Step it up there, Sweat Hogs.
LaPointe got his stick in the puck.
Looks like the Fat Cats have this one wrapped up. There's the buzzer. Fat Cats win it, and they lead this series by 2. They take a 2-goal margin into the second game. Scoring for the Fat Cats. Shutt, Dion, and LaPointe. Rick McLeish replied for the Sweat Hogs. So, a 2-goal margin for the Fat Cats as we move to Game 2 of the series, a 2-game total goal final. That's next on Showdown 78, brought to you by Canadian Pacific.
Get ready to start the second period. Here at the County Coliseum, the Nassau County Coliseum in Long Island, New York. Out of town, look at that. Chicago up 1 over Boston. Detroit and Montreal into a cliffhanger tonight so far. The Leafs are short-handed, so Salming shoots it down the ice. And they have 1:40 left in the penalty to Lanny McDonald of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Hot man, up the line, coming down Cloutier. He backhands it across the Maple Leaf blue line. Turnbull has control of it. No, he doesn't. It's cleared back near the line again. Cloutier didn't see it. Here's a break at center for Butler. He's onside. Right in. Oh, save by Rex on Jerry Butler. He had a lot of time, too, to think about it. Now Jones. job killing this penalty. When you look at Jerry Butler getting that break and Red coming up with a save. Down to center. Bossy had his pass to the stage. Bossy left it for Pearson. The Leafs lining up across the line. Palmatier couldn't move on it. It centers. And it hit a stick in time to get it away from Bossy. Now Pearson comes in, shoots. That's deflected in front, and Butler takes it back into the corner around his own net. Butler shoots it out to center. And we have 35 seconds left in the league penalty. This is Bossy stepping in over the line. Bossy gets set. He can really shoot it. Rolled it in front of the net. Turnbull got his stick in the way and cleared it. 22 seconds left in McDonald's penalty. And he's standing up at the penalty bench. Quite anxious as the Islanders pour in again. It's a pass to Nystrom. Nystrom into the corner. Nystrom went after it, back of the net, still after it in the corner. Stanley couldn't take it away. Here's the pass for Pearson. Pearson shoots it off the board. Stanley laid it ahead for Maloney. McDonald is back on. And McDonald on a two-man break with Sittler. Coming down. Here's Sittler. And a great save again by Red. Sittler centered it. Horn coming out. The Leafs are at full strength now. McDonald is back on. Here's Maloney coming in, digging to the corner. Maloney is stopped, but there's Sittler, ever present. Oh, at the blue line. Oh, save by Red from Salving. The Leafs really alive in the early going of the second period. Now here's Maloney. Another big save by Red. He's keeping the Islanders in the game, and a penalty coming up now to Pearson of the New York Islanders. From the Nassau Coliseum on Long Island, this is Stanley Cup 78.
Pearson called for holding at 2:27. He held Maloney right here, but the Leafs came out flying to start this second period and had 2 or 3 outstanding scoring opportunities.
Score tied, 1-1. The Maple Leafs now out to center right. They have the man advantage. Turnbull back to his own blue line with McDonald. He's on with Sittler, Williams, and Maloney. Here's Williams messing it. He didn't see the pass until it was too late. Henning went after it, but McDonald tipped it ahead for Williams. Henning again took it away from him and shot it down the ice. 1 minute 30 seconds left in the New York penalty. To step at Pearson. Henning watching Turnbull out with McDonald. Here's McDonald. Across center, he shoots it in by Harris. And Hart is back first. Hart was bumped. Williams went after it. So did Harris. And Maloney cleared it right to Henning goal. And Henning comes back to center ice. He'll try to rag it in there between the two blue lines. Henning going in over the line. And Palmatier made a good move with his stick and chopped it away. McDonald back toward Toronto. McDonald played it into Sittler. He couldn't control it. Hart tipped it ahead. A break for Henning. He can't get up to it. Palmatier in the corner. Shoots it the other way. Back of the net. McDonald has it. For Turnbull. Look out for Billy Harris. He steals it to Henning. And Henning got his skate on it and couldn't get the stick near the puck. That's close call. The Leafs on the power play. Down to center Maloney. High one. Grabbed by Red. Red kept it to the side of the net, and now Billy Harris trying to move it out. They hold it on the board. And now they get the whistle for a face-off in the New York Islanders zone.
The story of this period so far, the penalty killing of Butler and then Henning. Henning having 2 good chances against Palmatier. Watch this one as Henning comes through. He'll take a shot, number 10, Lorne Henning. And the stop by Palmatier, and he almost lost the rebound. The Islander moving in, he battered it away. And at the other end, moments earlier, Butler raced in all alone, also shorthanded, and Rush was able to stop him.
Mike Palmatier in goal for Toronto Maple Leafs. Moments ago, coming up with a big save, clearing the rebound. Probably the best part of that play as far as Palmatier was concerned. The Leafs trying to keep it in, and they do. Ellis ran into his man on the board. Solving in the center ice area, looking for Boutet to his left, gives it to Turnbull instead. He shoots it on the board. Here comes Ellis. Lewis stopped him. It's kept in by Weir. Weir back to Salming. Salming doesn't shoot it. Now Salming again. Hooks it to the corner. Lewis after it. The Islanders' penalty is over. We're at full strength. Here's Ellis around the net to Boudet. Right in front of Weir. Boudet. And Red has Lynch again. Come up. Save for a big save. And the New York goal. Chico Rex. He's been outstanding in the first 4.5 minutes of this second period. Tonight's Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from the Nassau Coliseum on Long Island. Score is tied 1-1. 4:37 gone in the second period. Ellis chopped at it and went crazily off to the corner. And now Putman. He was bumped before he could make a move. Finally gets it back to Lewis. And he was charged right in front. And Boutet didn't see him. The Islanders trail and break out to center. This is Pache going in with Ford. Ford right in on goal. Oh! And he missed the far corner. Great play by the Islanders. Back for the lead. And Boutet is after it. He'll shoot it from there. And it was deflected up over the goal. Pache on the board. Ford didn't get the pass. Kept in by Jones. On the board the other way. Boutet gets a chance. Back to Glenny. Back for Boutet. Boutet centered it. And it's Ford coming away. Warren gets down to center ice. Warren up over the line, trying to split the defense. He tried to whip it in as he fell, but couldn't reach it. Great action again here in the second period. Here's Boutet swinging on for Toronto. Hearing the 6-minute mark, it's tied 1-1. The long shot stopped by Reg. And this is Kazicki back in the net, dropping it there for Putman. Putman moved away from Hart, the other defenseman for New York. Pass to the head. Kazicki was bumped by Salming, and they get a whistle inside the Toronto blue line.
This second period before the game tonight, we asked Chico if he was surprised that the Islanders played so well after their 8-day layoff in Game 1.
Well, anytime you come off an 8-day layoff, you really don't know what to expect. But I would have to say everybody, right from Mr. Toriel Arbor on down, is very pleased with our first period. And generally, the entire game, I thought the defense played very well. We really only made maybe 2 mistakes. And if we can minimize our mistakes to 2 a night, I think we'll go a long way in the playoffs.
Well, Bob, he's one man who's doing his best to minimize those mistakes tonight.
Yep, there goes Ellis at the Leaf bench. And the gates seem to close properly. So we'll get the changes and then action in the second period. They played 5 minutes and, well, just about 6 minutes now, the second period. It's 1-1. Here's Bossy getting loose. He backhands one that's stopped by Johansson and knocked down the ice. Pearson back in his own zone. Pearson played it over on the left side. Starts out across the line with it at center ice. Backhands it in. This is Pache doing that work. And Turnbull slips it on the board. The Leafs couldn't move it out. Hart gets a shot away. That was stopped by Paul McKeer. Down the ice to goal. No icing will be called. It hit somebody going through. Pearson's pass to Bossy. Bossy dropped it neatly for Trottier at center. He shoots it into the Leaf zone. And Paul McKeer stopped it with a stage for Salming, who was then hit by Gillies right away. And it goes over the glass as Bossy tried to clear it in off the board.
Well, the minor officials always like to go on a road trip in the playoffs, but they didn't have to come far tonight. The New York Rangers supplied the minor officials. There's the goal judge at one end of the rink. Normally, Eddie Bajornis is the Islanders' goal judge. Hockey fans in the Ottawa Valley years ago may remember Eddie. He came up from Brooklyn and played junior A hockey with the old Inkerman Rockets. Pretty good hockey player. Now he's the goal judge for the Islanders.
Nearing the 7-minute mark of the second period, the New York Islanders and Toronto Maple Leafs hooked up in a big one here tonight on Long Island, New York. Salming gets that return pass from Lenny and goes to center with it, away from Merrick. He backhands it into the New York zone. And it's Dennis Putman again. Nice pass for Merrick on the left wing, Cowan, and up this side. This is Harris. Harris is left on the board by Lenny. And the Leafs bring it back out. Maloney. The Leafs trying to catch up to Maloney. He's going in. Now Stigler nearly got through, but Putman stopped with a good defensive play. Harris on the other side for Howard. Howard coming in. by Benny and spun around. And the Leafs McDonald coming back out with Maloney and Sittler. Sittler couldn't move it. He was covered. And they hold it on the board at the New York blue line.
I can't recall when I've seen Lanny McDonald play this aggressively. 28 points in 30 playoff appearances. The Leafs have not let up from the opening whistle, and talking to King Clancy before the game, I said, "You're going to win tonight's game?" And he said, "Well, I am hopeful." I'm going to use that word hopeful, but he said, "When we get them back to Toronto, guaranteed 2 victories."
Guaranteed, eh?
That's King.
12 minutes and 27 seconds left in the second period.
King was always an optimist. He'd take a camera and a frying pan along whenever he went fishing.
Okay. Inside the line. New York. Coming out. It's Hart to center. Hart takes the shot. Shots up to the fence. Unpairing on his front check. He let it go. And it's cleared right away out on the right side. Ellis poked at it. Ellis was shot. But Sittler lost control of it near the New York blue line. Now Bossy back to center ice. He's jammed out of it by Lenny. Pearson drops it back to center. Here's Gillies to Bossy. And Bossy is offside. The pass went behind him. A sharp call by Hamlet, the linesman.
Let's go to the Montreal Forum now and see what's happened there.
Montreal still with the odd man advantage with Lafleur over the line. Here's Lafleur taking a look. Over to the point.
I think referee Bruce Hood pointed in the direction of Larry Robinson.
It was a deflection of Robinson. He was in the right spot, right on the right-hand side of that net. Nice.
Again, here on Long Island in New York, the score's tied 1-1, and here's Sittler coming out. Sittler, the pass down to Ellis. Ellis going in. Took the shot, and Rush grabbed it, and again, the goaltender hangs on to it.
Monty Ellis played all 80 games for the Leafs this year, scored his 300th goal, and then got 2 more for a little bonus. 26 goals, the 4th high of his career. His 52nd playoff game. What a comeback he made. Candidate for the Masterton Trophy. Played on the Leaf Cup winner in '67. That was the year MLAC's old-timers took on the Montreal Canadiens. Centennial year, and in an upset, won the Stanley Cup.
Oftentimes, when we're on the road like this with our telecast, we run into minor technical difficulties, and we're having a little problem with the audio right now. We're working on it. We hope to have it overcome very shortly. Score is tied. It's 1-1. Nearing the 9-minute mark of the second period. Long shot in by Hart off the board. Look out for Nystrom. But it's chopped away by Paul Matier. Coming back for the late Salming. Racing to center. Salming in with Maloney. Maloney to Salming to Maloney. Maloney took a shot. And it hit the side of the net off Resch. Nearly caught the corner around the post.
Looked for just a second as though it might have gone off the skate and into the net, but it stayed on the outside as Maloney teamed up with Salming. First it was back to Salming, back into Maloney, and from the side now, Resch kept his right leg right there, and the puck stayed on the webbing on the outside of the post. Larry Robinson scored the Montreal goal as the Canadiens take a 1-0 lead over Detroit at the Forum tonight in their second game. Resch was telling me about Maloney before the game. He said, you really have to watch him, especially when the Leafs have the power play, because he'll drift right into the goal area. And he said, if one of my players touches him, then it looks like that's a legal play. I've told my defenseman to let him go, so that if he gets into my crease, any goal that would scored would be disallowed.
Now, faced off to the left, or rather to the right of Resch. Here's a quick shot. This one will go up into the crowd behind the New York goal. His 10th. Waited probably a second too long, and Nystrom put his sticker away. Another souvenir for this big crowd at the Coliseum on Long Island. My, they're great hockey fans here. They roar and shout from the moment they come into the building. And they're watching a dandy tonight. The Leafs and the Islanders tied at a goal. 11:10 remaining in the second period. Nystrom at the Islanders bench for a new stick. Here he comes. Number 23. He played a great game on Monday night.
Oh, having a good play. out. He went over 12 in the games last year.
Hot man fooled Weir a couple of times. He'll have to do it again, and he did. He comes across the line to center. Hot man, he's playing on the wing. Here's Bourne. He took the shot away wide, and the lead. Williams coming back out to center ice. Williams let go a high one. Bumped by Red. He flipped it off to the corner. Weir covered his man. Hot man. Turnbull couldn't stop it at the line. And the lead has to come back. This is Johansson. Bourne after him. They slide into the board. Johansson looks Bourne. Playing his first playoff year in the National Hockey League. Suzuki touches it and a tightening call against Toronto Maple Leafs.
Suzuki, another player, had a great game the other night. This fellow was a spectacular junior player, 170 points in his final year. Took a year of seasoning at Fort Worth. The Islanders' second draft choice in the 76 amateur draft. Boy, they've had some good draft choices come along. Suzuki's one. Of course, we go back to Harris and Trache, and then they got this Stephen Pearson as a low draft pick in 1974, and they left him over in Sweden to mature over there, and he's really made an impression here.
Whatever they did with him, it worked because he has been a standout of the defense for the New York Islanders. He had a big game Monday also. They saw to the left of Paul Matier. During the halfway mark of the second period, here's Turnbull. Turnbull coming to center, and he can really move it. He played it in off the board. Frank stopped it for Lewis. Lewis had some trouble. Bouquet watching him, couldn't stop it. Now Bouquet racing after it against Hotman. Hotman got away from him neatly. Hotman coming out again, leading the attack of the Islanders from center. He shoots it in and wide of the Leaf goal. And Johansson was back very quickly. Johansson around the net, a long pass. Went by Pearson down the ice. No icing will be called this time. Pearson got away from Bouquet. Fell down, got back up again. Now Bouquet has it back in the net, centered it. And it's stopped by Harris and away. Here's Harris coming down with Merrick. Merrick has the pass back to Harris. Harris and it's chopped away by Paul Matier. The Leafs come back out again. Turnbull back. Turnbull going in. Turnbull left it for Butler, and Butler covered by Pearson. They both go flying to the ice. Butler and Pearson, they come up pushing. They go straight on, and it's out over the line for Harris. Harris shoots the long one. Paul Matier stopped that and passed it off to Maloney. Islanders chasing on the goal. Maloney slow getting away. Shoots it down the ice. Hart for New York. Trache with Bossy and Gillies. Pass to Gillies, hit a stick, and he couldn't get any further from the line. Cleared back where Hart has control. 8:50 remaining in the second period. It's a 1-1 tie at this point in the hockey game. And down for Gillies, bumped by Solving. It comes loose. Maloney was given a jolt. Maloney comes up with a puck ball, gets the back of the net. Here's Solving coming out. Solving out across his own blue line. Played it up to McDonald, and he shoots it in. That's stopped by Reds easily. Hotman hooks it away for Bossy. Bossy, look out. He was slashed by McDonald. Bossy built it hard at the blue line by Benny. Stitzer centered it and went behind Maloney. Bossy couldn't move it out. Here's Bossy stopped by Maloney. Maloney shoots it in. I'll tell you, it's been a while since we've seen action like this. They're really laying it on. That's center ice. Benny back to his own defense. Solving up to center. Here's Williams. But he's outside and it's all back. With a score, the New York Islanders won. Toronto Maple Leafs won. This is Stanley Cup 78. 8 minutes remaining in the second period. The score is tied, 1-1. And listen to the fans here at the Coliseum on Long Island in New York. Lenny for the Maple Leafs. Back of the net, Solving. He was stopped in the corner. They get a whistle. Apparently, Brian, we're still having some difficulty with the audio from New York. And as I said before, they're working on it.
Well, that is unfortunate because the din that's being set up here in the Nassau County Coliseum is incredible at the moment, and it's been spectacular action, and the crowd really reacts to it.
Johansson. Put cleared. Right in on goal. Goes Bourne in that place. That Bourne has had a very dangerous rush on Paul Mateer in this hockey game.
Two evenly matched clubs in Game 2 of this series. Paul Mateer, pending goal for the Leafs, intending it very well tonight. Resch equally brilliant at the other end. Here's the play again. The shot right up into Paul Mateer's pads, and we're looking right through the hole in the glass where the photographer will often put his lens and get some good action shots.
There's the attendance for tonight, 15,317. And that's usually the case here on Long Island. Jammed house. Here's a backhand shot by Kazicki. That's blocked. Another shot, and the Leafs have to hurry it down the ice. Turnbull from his knees cleared it. And this is Price back to touch it. And it's icing against Toronto.
Kazicki squawking over that play with referee Andy Van Helleman. The officials doing a good job here tonight. Bob Bourne scored 30 goals in the regular season. There's another player they picked up from Kansas City in a trade. They gave up a couple of players they weren't going to use much anyway. And he could have been a pro baseball player. He signed with Houston. So did Big Gillies at one time.
Okay, they're set to go to the right of Paul Mateer. The Leafs this time shoot it as far as center. Williams trying to break in on Price. Williams gets set. The breaks on. Nobody with him though. And Price tied him up effectively before he could make a play. To Ellis, who was catching up. There's Ellis now trying to dig it out from the corner. Williams missed Price with a check. Here's nice push up. Kazicki faked the shot. Get around to a hand. Kazicki dropped it right there for Marshall. Closing in. Campbell. And again, Paul Mateer went down to make a great play on Pat Price. This Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from the Nassau Coliseum on Long Island.
Mike Paul Mateer makes another great save, this time on Pat Price, number 3, taking the pass and drilling it all in one motion at the Leaf netminder.
Paul Mateer very sharp on that play. Price was right in on top of him, as you saw. Now the Leafs. Getting it out is Johansson to center ice. Johansson hooked the high one into the corner. And Potvin has it to the right of his own net. Merrick up for Harris. Harris tried to set up Merrick again, but it's stopped by Bouquet and Ferguson. Then cleared in where Turnbull goes back to the net. Here he comes in front of the goal. Now Merrick ran into his man. Johansson for the Leafs. Get it out to the center ice area. Potvin shoots it back in. Islanders seem to be coming out strong now. Watching for crazy bounce on the board. Came back straight. Now Potvin. For Lewis up to Merrick. Merrick had a little trouble. Getting away from Howard. Standing right in front of him. Here's Potvin. Up over the line is Dennis Potvin. He took the shot to Merrick. Merrick was covered by Johansson. Paul Mateer whipped at it. Got it out to Turnbull. The Leafs coming out with Ferguson. He's down over the line. Ferguson was jolted and couldn't get a play. In on the net. Harris shoots it back of his own goal. And hopped away from Bouquet. Now Potvin's knocked down. Bouquet fell along with him. And Lewis down with Merrick. Merrick to Harris. Harris goes by Glennie and lost the puck. And backwards Sittler coming in. Here's Sittler going for the net. And he took the shot from the short side. And there was Resch again grabbing it. He took it off the board because it was centered.
Sittler doing an excellent job coming down the wing tonight, getting the puck, trying to feed a teammate in front of the net, but each time he's been stymied, normally by this fella, Glenn Resch. Point out again how quick he's been with those gloves tonight. DuPont has scored for the Philadelphia Flyers. The Flyers lead Buffalo now, 2-1. They're in the second period. Barber got the other goal. Martin scored for Buffalo.
5 minutes and 26 seconds remaining in the second period. The Islanders lead the series, winning Monday night 4-1. They lead the series 1-0. And the Leafs trying to tie the best of 7 right here before it ships back to Toronto for the next 2 games. March pass to Harris. He was stopped right away. Sittler took a shot, and that's blocked by Resch. Sittler went after it again. Outside side of the line it comes. Salming back to Glenny. Glenny up for McDonald. He knifed it in. And Harris checking on that line. Cleared it to center ice. Salming being watched by Gillies. Hit Maloney neatly. He dropped it for McDonald. And that shot again was a way up high on the glass. Sittler trying to knock it loose. Back of the net. They hold it. Pearson lost it. And it comes back where Harris was standing in front of the goal. And he cleared it. Look out. Then he ran into his man heavily at the blue line. Now Harris tried to break in and he was stopped. Pearson waits for Harris to come out. And he hands it to Salming, who gave it to Maloney. He missed it. Pearson, a pass ahead to Trottier. Trottier into Gillies. Here's Bossy for the net. Oh! And he couldn't make contact in front of the goal. Bossy was flying in. Here's McDonald, another hard shot. And again wide of the New York net. It ends up in the mesh behind the goal. And the play is called.
Let's go downstairs now to Dave Hodge.
The film feature on the Islanders' record-breaking rookie right winger Mike Bossy. Brian McFarland will be talking to a former Islander, Jean Potvin, the older brother of Dennis. And Brian will also have a short visit with the NHL president, John Ziegler. Howie Meeker will join me for highlights.
We've got 4:12 to play in the second period. We're still in a 1-1 tie here at the Nassau County Coliseum. What a hockey game.
Face off now in the center ice area. Weir in for Turnbull. Turnbull faked the shot, threw it up on the glass. It goes back to Lewis. Kazicki's pass went down the ice for Bourne. Coming in is Nystrom. Here's Nystrom on the right side. And the shot was right on. Palmatier grabbed it and he covered up. He covered the angle beautifully on Nystrom, who was really cutting for the net.
Palmatier seemed to give just a little bit of a jiggle with his body. Maybe he was trying to con Nystrom into going for the short side. At any rate, he just covered it beautifully, as you say, and took the puck right in his body. Good stop by Palmatier.
Palmatier having a good night this evening. Here's a chance for Lewis. Oh, and Palmatier got his left arm on that one. Hard shot by Lewis from just inside the line. Nystrom let it go. And Palmatier again covered up as the puck was skipping in toward him. 3 minutes and 42 seconds remaining. In the second period, the score is tied, 1-1.
Goaltenders hate to see that kind of a puck coming at them. The puck was deflected a bit by Turnbull, and as you say, skipped and bounced along, and those slow bouncers sometimes go right through you somehow.
There it is, all on the big board at center ice. Here at the Nassau Coliseum on Long Island, New York, as Bob Bourne has had a couple of great scoring opportunities tonight. Lines up directly in front of Palmatier. There's the draw. Nystrom took a high shot. He hooked it really, and it went way up high over the glass.
Bourne had 2 points on Monday night. Made quite an impression. He was a high school football star. Kindersley, Saskatchewan, and his quarterback was Dave Lewis. He used to catch the passes.
Turnbull for Toronto. 3:35 remaining of the second period. Score tied 1-1. From center, it's Nystrom. He got away from Turnbull. Williams went after him and checked him hard into the corner. Nystrom tried to tie up the Leaf defenseman Johansson, but could not. Bourne dropped it back to Potvin. Up to Nystrom on the other wing now. Back for Kazicki. He dropped it neatly. Lewis, a weak shot, and that was wide. They keep it in. Potvin took a drive. And that went off Palmatier's shoulder. A hard shot by Potvin. Just inside the line, they pile in on the boards. It comes loose, though. No whistle. And it's cleared down the ice by the Maple Leafs. They'll be called for icing when Potvin gets back with 2:48 remaining in the second period. Live from the Nassau Coliseum on Long Island, the Stanley Cup playoffs. And they're lining up for a face-off to the right of Palmatier. There's Al Arbor, back of the New York Islanders bench. Not having it quite so easy tonight. At this point on Monday, he was leading 3-0, but it's 1-1 now. And the Leafs trying to move it down was Salming. It was tipped near center ice. There's where it ended up.
Well, you saw Howie Meeker on their intermission, and it was 31 years ago tonight that Toronto defeated Canadians 2-1 in Toronto to win the Stanley Cup for the first of what was to be 3 straight years. Ted Kennedy scored the game winner at 14:39 of the third. Howie Meeker assisted on both Leaf goals.
2 minutes and 40 seconds remaining in the second period. Howie's thinking back. That's a long time ago, Howie. Getting old. They're not getting old here as Salming moves in. Took a drive. That was stopped right in front of the net. Howard behind the goal. Dropped it there. Into the corner, Hart. Shoots it around this way for Harris. He was bumped by Bouchette. Lenny waits outside the line, throws it back, and Salming has to go back for it. 2 minutes remaining in the second period. Salming tied up by Myrick in port checking. Now Lenny on the right side. Butler couldn't move it out. The Islanders put some pressure on now, and they can't keep it in on this rush. Pearson slapped at it. Salming will hustle for this one along with Butler. Comes back to Hart. Hart in front to Harris. He was stopped and the lead jumping out to center. 1 minute and 30 seconds remaining in the second period. In off the boards, it went high over Denny's head, but it was called at the blue line offside.
Let's go back to the Montreal Forum now, and Danny Gallivan describing the goal there.
Cournoyer racing in on the left side. Cournoyer trying to center it. Rubbed out of the play by Larson. Here's Cournoyer getting it front.
Well, I'll tell you, when you're hot, you're hard. Reed Larson, Fred, didn't keep Cournoyer tied up. He let him get away back of the net after he had scraped him.
And again, from Long Island, they get set to drop it in near the center ice red line. Here it is. And the Leafs have to come back. 1:25 remaining in the second period. Anybody's game tonight. The score is tied 1-1. Nystrom picking it up. Nystrom in the corner in front of the net. Scramble for it, and Gillies had it go off his stick to the corner. And again, they hold it. And finally a whistle. You got the goal scorers from Montreal, Brian.
Larry Robinson and Ivan Cournoyer put Montreal in front of Detroit 2-0 as we look at Clark Gillies, and we'll take another quick look at the scoreboard here. Chicago and Boston 3-3 now as Middleton has scored for the Bruins. They're in the third period. Philadelphia still leading Buffalo 3-2 in the second. Schoenfeld has scored for the Buffalo Sabres. McLeish for the Philadelphia Flyers.
Okay, 1:10 remaining in the second period. The Leafs and the Islanders. Into a dandy tonight. There's Lewis coming in. Lewis lost it, and Maloney comes out with McDonald. Here's Maloney. Across the line he goes. Took the shot. McDonald centered it. It came through the crease. Less than a minute remaining in the second period. Potvin out Gillies. But he was going off on a change. Didn't see the pass. Potvin again. Up to Nystrom, and he was belted by Lenny. They both fall at the blue line. Palmetier way out of the net. He cleared it up on the boards. Nystrom went in and couldn't stop it. Potvin's pass to Bourne. Shot. Rebound. And it's cleared away. Islanders keep the pressure on, and here's Turnbull laying it out over the line for Maloney. 25 seconds left. Maloney's pass to McDonald. He gets a drive. And a good save again by Resch on the short side. McDonald really testing Resch. Sittler kept it in with 13 seconds remaining in the period. Potvin has control, though, on the other side. He played it to the blue line for Bourne. Time for one more drive. It's right on. And it was stopped by Palmetier. And there's the horn to end the second period. What a hockey game tonight. This second game of a best-of-7 quarterfinals between the New York Islanders and the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Islanders winning the first game Monday 4-1, and tonight at the end of two periods, the score, Toronto 1.
Talented draft choices like Brian Trottier, Billy Harris, Clark Gillies, and Denis Potvin have contributed greatly to the New York Islanders' success. Their first-round choice this year was Mike Bossy from Laval of the Quebec Junior Hockey League. Although Mike notched over 500 points with Laval, his junior career wasn't always a bed of roses.
I'd have to say that I had hard times in Laval. Playing 4 years for the same team, I think, does bring problems to a player, especially in junior. And especially since our team wasn't a contender all the time. But I have to say that I was well liked by the fans in Laval, and I did have a good junior career, scoring 309 goals, which made me very happy.
This fellow was Mike's idol as a youngster.
I always watched hockey games on television, and I always used to admire Gordie Howe. It's just amazing to think that now that I'm playing in the National Hockey League and he is still playing in the World Hockey Association. There's a funny way to his style. Even though it looked like he wasn't always giving his best, I know now that he was, because being in the National Hockey League, you can't just skate around and loaf, because you know that everybody else is working their best, and you just have to work hard.
This is actually Mike's first hockey season away from his native Montreal, and during training camp he lived with Brian Trottier.
I thought it might be hard. Since my 4 years junior, I was living at home all the time and had never really been away from my parents and my friends. But as soon as I arrived in New York, the players on the team helped me a lot, and especially Brian. He invited me to stay at his house, and that really got me off on the right foot.
Mike and his bride of last July, Lucy, who incidentally speaks only French, are busy moving into a new apartment. One of their first acquisitions was Kiki, an English sheepdog.
We're not the type that goes out very often. We might go out and watch a movie sometimes, but most of the time we usually stay home and play cards. And since we just got in our new apartment, we're out shopping a lot, trying to liven the place up a bit.
The Bossies appear happy on Long Island, and Mike's performance on the ice thus far has everybody on the island pretty happy too.
He's got a very good anticipation, passes the puck extremely well. He's got very, very quick hands. He's been working hard on his checking, and he's made great strides in that respect. He's a finesse hockey player.
It's not so much that he's a physical type player, but his positioning seems to be so perfect that for a defenseman you have to almost look for him. He's always around the net, but he's in and out, and he shoots the puck very well so that he can stay away from the defenseman and sneak in behind. And I think basically his positioning is that good.
His bread and butter is shooting, and Bossy works hard at it, even staying out after practice. Often referred to as a natural goal scorer, Mike is unable to attribute his success to any one factor.
I don't really have a secret about scoring goals. I have to say I don't really concentrate on exactly putting the puck where I want to put it. There comes a lot of times when I just shoot the puck on the net, and a lot of times it ends up in the net. And I try to get in the open a lot, and with Clark and Brian, it's getting easier and easier because they work so hard in the corners. And so I say my secret might be just to get in the open to get the shots away.
Obviously, Mike has been getting the shots away, but the 6-foot, 185-pound right winger still has some very definite goals he'd like to attain.
I think that I've accomplished a great deal for myself just making the team this year. But now since I've made it, I've set more goals for myself. Like every other rookie, I'd like to win Rookie of the Year. I think that comes naturally with everybody coming into the league. But most of all, I'd like to help the Islanders get all the way to the Stanley Cup.
We're fortunate to have Jean Potvin, an ex-Islander, with us now. And Jean, I've seen a lot of playoff action, but this game tonight matches, I think, anything I've seen along the way. How do you feel about it?
I agree, Brian. It's one of the best playoff games I've seen in quite a while. There's an awful lot of good hitting. The penalty killing has been really, really great, because actually the team who's been killing the penalties has had more opportunities on net than a team who has a power play. It's been a really good up-and-down hockey game. Good playoff hockey.
There was Butler on the breakaway, and then Henning had a couple of good chances in a shorthanded situation. Take us behind the scenes a little bit, will you, John? You know this Islander club so well. You played with them for a long while. What goes on there with Al Arbour, and how does he prepare his club?
Well, Al Arbour always prepared the Islanders exceptionally well for the playoffs because, as everybody knows, they've always come up big in the playoffs. They've played well. And this is the first year that the Islanders have had a week off because they won that first-place division championship. And Al Arbour has taken this week to make sure that he's prepared his players to the top of their form, to the peak of their form. And I think that it's going to have to show somewhere in the playoffs. I'm really impressed, though, with the way that Roger Nielsen has had his players come out and play a good physical game against the Islanders. Everybody usually says, don't try to intimidate the Islanders. They're doing a great job.
I know when Al traded you to Cleveland, he felt awfully sorry about losing you, and I understand he came out when he told you the news, shook hands with you, and there were tears all around. Isn't that true?
That's right, Brian. It was a very emotional moment because Al and I had been together for about 5 years, and we'd gone through so much together. We'd been laughed at as a team and coach, and then we became a very respectable hockey team, then a better one. And when he had to announce me the news that I was traded, Al couldn't talk. He was completely flabbergasted, and he was crying, and I had tears in my eyes. It was quite a moment.
Well, there's certainly nobody laughs at the Islanders now. They may be on their way to greatness. Thank you, Jean Potvin, for joining us. Good luck to you with Cleveland next year. And we'll return with the Stanley Cup playoff action in just a moment.
And here we go, starting the third period. The Islanders push it in. The teams at full strength. Into the corner, the Islanders get it loose. Bossy, always dangerous. Got a shot away, a weak one, mind you, but nevertheless, from that distance, he is very dangerous, this young man.
Toronto, the only club he did not score on throughout the regular season. Imagine scoring 53 goals and not getting one against any of the 18 clubs. But he picked up one Monday night, his first goal of the year against the Leafs. Lanny McDonald led the club in goals.
And the face-off now to the left of Paul Matier. Potvin took a shot. That was screened. Bossy went after the rebound. Sittler knocked it loose. And Maloney straight up the ice to center. He played it right on the skates for Potvin. Gillies missed the pass. Now McDonald had trouble at the blue line. Sittler will move it. But right on to the Islanders' sticks again. Gillies dropping it back. Potvin turning around near center. He was knocked down by Sittler. Potvin back on his feet into his own zone. Long pass went by McDonald. Gillies has to wait now. He rolled it to Bossy. Bossy gave it to Potvin. Good play. Sittler after him. And Glennie ran into the Islander. Potvin at the blue line. Here's Salming back for Toronto. Played it into Sittler. Sittler went after it around Hart. Sittler couldn't get it loose though. And it's Potvin again down to Bossy. Bossy, the little winger, down to center ice. Up over the line, he has to come back again. Merrick was offside had he gone in. Now McDonald for Toronto. A neat pass for Salming going in. Salming winding up. And the high shot went off the glass. Hard into the corner. He was bumped by Jones. Merrick goes in to help. So does Boutet. And they get a whistle in the New York zone.
Glenn Rash comes out to have a chat with Jerry Hart. Hart, a gourmet cook. He was claimed in the 72 expansion draft from the Detroit Red Wings.
1 minute and 31 seconds gone in the third period. The score is tied, 1-1. Second game of the best-of-7 quarterfinals. The Islanders winning the first game Monday night 4-1. The Leafs battling back in this one, trying to even it before they go to Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto for Friday night. It's fired in on the boards, back of the net. Rex stopped it, and the Islanders pick it up quickly. This is Hart from the corner, a long pass went off a stick, but down the ice it goes. It'll be icing, yes. Turnbull has it, and it's icing against the New York Islanders. From the Nassau Coliseum on Long Island, this is Stanley Cup 78. 18 minutes and 6 seconds remaining in the third period. Score tied, 1-1. And here's the face-off to the left of Rush. He had to move quickly on the draw to clear it from the crease. Pearson went into the corner. Up to Harris. Harris across the line with it. Hands it off to Hart. Hart, weak shot in wide of the leaf goal. Palmatier will get a whistle now as Merrick came in looking for the rebound.
Palmatier, the only goaltender with a shutout so far in the playoffs. Oh, there's a cute young lad. Hello to you. He's cheering for Glenn Resch.
Big roar from the crowd seconds ago. At the end of the second period, Montreal and Detroit are tied 2-2. Crowd reacting to that out-of-town score. Here's Lewis. Winding up, shot. Palmatier had that screen shot taped all the way. And racing down his boot tip, he took a drive from center. Lewis made a good move to get it away from Butler. How it goes, can't get on stride. And it's cleared over the board near the penalty box by Lewis. Again, they call the play.
Well, the next goal, if and when it comes, and it'll surely come somewhere along the way this evening, is going to be a big one. With a 1-1 tie, neither team giving an inch of ice. If you think back to a turning point, that Butler breakaway dash, playing shorthanded and thwarted by Glenn Rush, a spectacular save by the Islander goaltender, is a big play in this hockey game.
Everybody changing now again, and Weir comes on for the Maple Leafs along with Williams and Ellis. Johansson and Turnbull on the defense. Suzuki at center for New York with Nystrom and Bourne. Marshall and Price, the defense pair for the Islanders. This is Price, number 3, shooting it in. Johansson took his man out at the blue line. Suzuki, and it's icing again against the New York Islanders. They're playing it awfully close here in the third period.
Turnbull during the regular season had 61 points, made up of 14 goals and 47 assists. He's been a powerful performer for the Leafs in this playoff series. Has 4 playoff points in 4 games.
Another roar from the crowd into overtime at Boston. Chicago and Boston 3-3. There it is on the big scoreboard over center ice. So there's great hockey in the National Hockey League all over the place tonight. Bourne out to the center was stopped. Weir battling for it, couldn't reach it. Marshall played it ahead on the left side, and Turnbull back in his own zone. Here's Williams starting up. Out over the line he comes. Tiger Williams at center ice. Lobbed along one in wide. Resch couldn't reach it. And it's cleared back to the net. Marshall covered on Ellis. Now Bourne had trouble with it. Ellis bumped him. The Islanders coming out. This is Suzuki's pass to Price. And control it. Chopped away by Turnbull. Now Marshall slapped it on the board. Suzuki closing in. A pass to Bourne. Ready! Scores! Bourne, third time tonight. He's had an opportunity. And now he comes through for New York.
Well, you know what they say, 3 times lucky, although there was skill involved on that one. Bob Bourne, the Islanders off the bench. There's a tremendous racket now at the Nassau County Coliseum. Let's see this play develop. Here's the pass through. Bourne, number 14, makes a little move here. Palmatier starts to go down. He got a piece of it. Oh, so close to making the save. Palmatier got a bit of the puck. It was up, and it trickled in, and the Islanders take the lead. 2-1, goal by Bourne. 3:24. Bob Bourne, his first in the playoffs. And they've gone wild here at the Coliseum on Long Island as the Islanders take a 2-1 lead here in the third period. Here's a shot by Maloney, and that was stopped by Resch. Now Lewis coming out for New York. Here's Gillies at center ice. Gillies goes good move. He played it into Trottier. McDonald after him. Gillies to the side of the net. Touching the Bossy. And Bossy was stopped by Palmatier. I'll tell you, and Palmatier's biggest save in the hockey game on Bossy. He was waiting on top of him. Tonight's Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from the Nassau Coliseum on Long Island. Following the goal by Bourne, Palmatier drops his stick, and without the stick in his hand, makes a big save on Mike Bossy.
Now we're set to go. Face off to the left of Palmatier. Hotman winds up, shoots! Oh, Palmatier stopped that and went high off the glass on the rebound. Now Denny is bumped hard back to the net by Cloutier. He's a tough customer. Denny was, or rather Sittler was bumped as he crossed the line. By Dennis Potvin. Oh, look out! McDonald ran into Gillies. And now Maloney shoots one in for Toronto. McDonald after that. The Leafs fighting hard and trying to get back on even terms now. Jones ran into Cloutier. And the Islanders have to shoot it down the ice to relieve the pressure, and that's icing against New York.
There was another goal at the Montreal Forum. Let's check in there and find out who scored it.
At the line. Lambert cleared it ahead. Thompson is on it. He's in over the Montreal line. Backhand. Oh! Thompson on a backhander. Rich.
So Harold Thompson scores for the Red Wings, and here at the Island, it's 2-1. Islanders in front of the Leafs.
And they've played 4 minutes and 31 seconds of the third period. Ferguson comes on again to play at center ice for Toronto. Boutet on the right wing. And Valaket on the left side. Valaket back to the net. Couldn't stop it. Harris coming out with Merrick getting the pass. Merrick lobbed it over for Hart. Jerry Hart shoots it in. And Boutet, number 15 for Toronto, played it behind the net. Valaket stopped by Merrick. Here's Turnbull sliding it up and went by Ferguson. Down to the right of the goal. Pearson is back, and that's icing called against Toronto. So, with 15:01 remaining in the third period, it comes back into the lead zone. As you see Roger Nielsen talking it over with Darryl Sittler of the Leaf bench. Sittler getting up. He seems to be hurt a little bit. Taken up on a check at center ice on his last shift. Now the Leafs trying to clear it. Johansson got it out to center ice. Howard for Merrick coming in with Harris. Harris made a good move to go over there to get that pass. Then he got away from Valaket's check. Back to the net. Howard going in. Howard can't get it loose. They're holding on the board. Now Howard has it. And he lost it at Turnbull for Valaket. Valaket out over the line. And it's stopped by Hart. Drops it back. Pearson slides it ahead. Harris looking around. Gives it to Jerry Hart again. Hart for Pearson coming out. For Merrick, it went by and tipped in by Johansson. The Islanders are changing now as the play goes on. And this is Valaket coming out of the lead zone. Up for Turnbull. Howard on him as he went by him. Marshall for Howard. One man back. Howard waiting for someone to catch up. A weak shot, and here's Knight from after it. He was stopped by Boutet. Coming out is Turnbull. Good stick handling move around Howard. Turnbull to center. Turnbull going in. Tries to go around the left man. Back to the net. Center to hit. And it's cleared by Knightson. Weir stopped the goal. Marshall went after it. West scoops it away to the board. Here's Sullivan winding up. Penalty coming up against New York. And Knightson gets possession till the whistle goes. And the New York Islanders getting a penalty here. Had Price going off. This is Stanley Cup 78 from the Nassau Coliseum on Long Island.
Despite the fact it's been a very physical game, the checks have been hard but clean. This is only the first period of the third period. We had one penalty in the second. Pat Price for slashing upper frame against Ian Turnbull. He slashed him right there, 6-17.
Okay, there's Price in the penalty box. 6:17, the time of that penalty to the New York Islanders. And it comes with the Islanders leading the Toronto Maple Leafs 2-1. We're in the third period at the Nassau Coliseum on Long Island. One of the Islanders shaken up on the last play. That looks like Jerry Hart, number 2, at the bench.
Billy Smith down there, the backup goaltender to Glenn Rush tonight. 6 playoff wins in a row for Smith.
Okay, now we're set to go with the Leafs. The man advantage, Sittler, Williams, McDonald, Sullivan, and Turnbull. The big guns are on there now to try to flash for Toronto. It comes to Sullivan. Sullivan flipped it in for Turnbull. Back to the net for McDonald. McDonald stopped. Now McDonald again. Couldn't stop Huffman. Turnbull kept it in. McDonald slaps at it. Back of the net he goes. McDonald around the goal. Big launch by Lewis. Tries to make a Turnbull. And his shot was deflected wide of the net. Harris whipped it out over the line. And down the ice. All the chairs stopping it. Here's Stanley coming back. 1 minute, 30 seconds left. The Islanders penalty. This is Williams down to center. Williams to Sittler. Sittler trying to stick handle in. Williams gets set on a bad angle now. Can't shoot it. Stanley stops it with his glove at the blue line. Waits for a moment. Looks around for a good opportunity. Now Sittler let it go. And that was a good 3 feet off the net far side. Turnbull at the line with Stanley shooting. The rebound. Oh, McDonald missed the great chance. Here's McDonald again. Shoots a hard one. Now Sittler has it. The lead puts great pressure on. McDonald back in front of him. And Harris takes over. Harris again shoots it down the ice toward New York. Wow, the lead's come close. It's 2-1 New York. 43 seconds left in the penalty. And the lead's on a power play. Harris again doing a great job killing this penalty for the New York Islanders. Billy Harris. Here's Turnbull now, winding up at the blue line. Turnbull to center. Turnbull into McDonald. He's got a great shot. And he couldn't quite get it back. Here's another drive by Turnbull. And a quick save all the way down the ice again. And 15 seconds left in the penalty as Stanley picks it up. They'll have to move it quickly if they want another rush for the man advantage. Stanley, oh, what a move in front of the net. Against Trottier, knocks him down. Turnbull in with Weir. Weir to McDonald. His shot hit a leg. And Trottier couldn't clear it against Malacat. Turnbull let it go. That was blocked by Marshall. A great play, but he hurt himself with that one. And off he goes. Marshall going off, taking that shot. Now Stanley into Malacat. And here's Bossy. Whoa, boy. And he hit it. Rebound. And Stanley here, I'll tell you. Oh, handsome enough about this Bossy. He never quit. Here almost lost that puck right in his doorstep. With a score, the New York Islanders 2 and the Toronto Maple Leafs 1. This is Stanley Cup 78.
Disco Fever, 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 featuring Miko and Star Wars. Tavares. Must be missing. Donna Summer. In the stores now. 2 record sets, $6.99. Tape or cassette, $7.99. Keep your Saturday Night Fever alive all week long with Disco Fever. Fever, 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 Fever.
Okay, it's Islanders 2 and the Maple Leafs 1. The Islanders have killed the penalty. Bossy came close again with Paul McCare with Wade making the save. Here's his shot by Potvin, weak one. Bossy after it. Bossy is number 22, stopping on the boards. Good play to Potvin. Potvin took a shot. That was looped in wide of the net. Gillies was hit hard on the board by Butler. Butler really throwing it. Here's Bossy. Whoa! And Paul McCare made a great save on Bossy. Hard shot by Bossy. Back from the Leafs, and here's Maloney going in with Jones. Jones threw it into Maloney. Maloney took a drive at the side of the net of Bossy. Comes streaking out again. Here's Bossy to center. Bossy hooked a high one in. As they change, while the play goes on. Gillies and Butler again. You can't believe it. Here's Gillies. Butler. I'll tell you, Brian, Butler threw about 4 good checks in this hockey game, and 3 of them were on Gillies. 2 of the last minute. He's an awfully tough man to check, and Butler's doing an amazing job on him tonight. Gillies must outweigh him by 20 pounds. Gillies, a tremendous hockey player. The Leafs have really played the man extremely well tonight. In the game the other night, they were perhaps just a half step slow in their checking. Even though they tried to be physical, they have been physical here tonight, and it is succeeding for them. Here's the flip by Bossy. Now watch the race to the corner by Butler and Gillies, who will get fighting penalties here. Number 9 is Gillies. 2 minutes for high sticking, 2 minutes for roughing. 9:20 the time of the penalties. They are not major penalties. Butler and Gillies. Okay, Brian, high sticking and roughing penalties, as you say. They get 4 minutes each. Gillies of New York and Butler of Toronto. But Butler, you can't believe the checks he was throwing at Big Clark Gillies. You know, last minute.
There was another, well, we saw the one that Palmetier almost left on his doorstep. That puck could have easily slid in as Bossy fired it. And then at the other end, moments earlier, the Leafs just shook their heads at Lanny McDonald's near their call there on an open net.
Bourne nearly got loose after that draw. Ferguson stopped him, though. Now there's Bourne again with Johansson after him. They hold it on the boards, back to the Leaf goal, and get a whistle for a face-off to the right of Mike Palmetier. 10:31 remaining in the third period. 2-1. Islanders leading by just that margin. Ferguson, number 10, at center ice. Jumps the draw on Bourne. Johansson in front of his own goal with Turnbull. Turnbull out across the line. A long pass for Ferguson, breaking in. Ferguson has his pass. He scores! Ferguson put it through the legs of Resch, and it's 2-2.
And maybe things are turning around for George Ferguson, who scored 3 goals in the preliminary round in 1 period in just over 7 minutes against the Kings. And now he comes up with the tying effort through the legs of Glenn Resch. Ferguson racing down the right wing, and right now he fires that puck from inside the circle, and it goes right through the legs and came right out immediately, and the Leafs have tied it. Ferguson scores his 4th goal of the playoffs at 9:41.
Well, you can taste that one coming, really, Brian, when Ferguson went down the right wing with so much confidence, and he took that good shot, and it went through the legs of Glenn Resch. And now it's 2-2. What a game tonight on Long Island. The Islanders and the Maple Leafs hooked up in a dandy. Now, to center ice, Pearson shooting one in. Palmetier stopped it back in the net. It's cleared on the boards, but not out. Hart near the blue line. Kept it in for Bourne. Bourne going for the net now. Took the pass. And Nystrom was tied up and couldn't move. Here's Jerry Hart. He faked the shot and couldn't get a pass away. Islanders with some pressure on now. Pearson steadying up. Took a drive. That's stopped by Turnbull. Turnbull coming out with Ferguson again. Here's Ferguson across the line. Another long shot. This time, Resch got the stick down to stop it. Now the Leafs are changing on the goal. And Bourne stopped by Salming. Oh, he got it away from him and flipped it down the ice. Nystrom watching Lenny. Lenny gets it back for McDonald near the line. And coming out is Salming with Williams. Williams took the pass, and it rolled right to the net where Resch cleared it back of the goal. Williams took Lewis into the board. McDonald couldn't stop the pass. Salming failed to keep it in. Salming just outside the line. And it's Potvin coming through that hole. Potvin whipped the pass over to Harris. Got it back again. Potvin left it. And Williams trying to clear it out for Toronto. Against Potvin. It's knocked loose for Salming. Here he comes. Down to McDonald. McDonald didn't shoot it. Gave it to Salming. Back to McDonald at a bad angle. Around the net. He was jagged out of the play. And it's Wayne Merrick coming up for the New York Islanders at the line. Down to the right side goes Harris. Back to Merrick. And he was stopped by Borja Salming again. Offside at the Maple Leaf blue line was Merrick. 8 minutes and 31 seconds remaining in the third period. 2-2.
There's Billy Harris, leader in this unspectacular way of the New York Islanders. Wayne Merrick, number 11, picked up from Cleveland in a deal. Injured his hand in the first game. And here we go, face-off just outside the Leaf blue line.
And it's going to be Sittler at center ice for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Harris live aside with 1:50 remaining in the penalties. Bocce at center ice for New York. Here's Sittler in with a quick shot. And it was stopped by Jerry Hart, number 2, the defenseman. Playing another strong game on the New York Islanders defense tonight.
Well, we will take a quick look at that goal by Ferguson. Turnbull and Johansson drew assists, but Ferguson, well, it was a good pass from Turnbull. Ferguson did the finishing off with a good hard shot through the legs of Resch. Didn't have much room there, as you can see.
Now the fakes off, just out from Resch, a little bit to his left. Comes back to Turnbull. Crowd of players in front of the net. The screen shot was fired wide. Jerry Hart, number 2, out against Jones. The pass comes to Trottier. Here he comes. He's it smoothly. Trottier up over the line with Harris. Shooting one. And Palmetier hopped on it right away as he made the stick save.
Oh, they'll be jumping out in Val-Marie, Saskatchewan tonight every time Ryan Trottier touches the puck.
8 minutes, 1 second remaining in the third period of a 2-2 game. There's some time remaining. That's on the big clock over center right here at the Coliseum on Long Island in New York. Trottier with Bossy. And the Leafs are changing again. And Salming and Lenny come on the defense. Williams and Jones are up front.
There he is. They named the new rink after him in Val-Marie. Brian Trottier.
Hart on the defense. Quick and shot. That went by Palmetier. He didn't see it. But it was off the net. Screen shot by Hart. 1:10 remaining in the penalties. The teams at this moment are 5 aside. The score is tied at 2-2. Salming comes out. This is Williams across center. Williams going up over the line. He's driving. Williams lost it out. Nobody could jam it in. And Hart for the Islanders. Out to Trottier. He's coming in with Bossy. Trottier was stopped. And the Leafs clear it off the boards down the ice. And apparently it went over the boards at the penalty box, and it was called back.
Tiger Williams led a good rush down the wing. He was one-handed on the stick and almost shoveled it in front, and it was loose there for just a second or two. Matt Pavlich, the linesman tonight. We're having a line change. Let's catch that rush by Tiger Williams. There's the one hand on the stick, and he just about shoveled it right out in front as Resch started to move away from it.
There's Resch as they line up down on the other end in front of Palmetier, just inside the Maple Leaf blue line with 45 seconds remaining in the penalties. The score tied 2-2. And he knocked it down. Nystrom got loose though, and Salming had to cover up. He has some speed up now as he comes to center. Salming's drive right on the net. And Resch stopped that. Scoops it back to the goal for Lewis. Lewis tipped it into the board, where Nystrom has to back up on his own zone. Ellison forechecking. Nystrom can't reach it. Lenny ran into him at center, went flying himself. Carrying on with Putman. He's up over the line. Took a high shot. And Palmetier gloved that with the right hand. And then held onto it.
You know, I was talking to Bill Torrey about Mike Palmetier before the game, and I said, what's the key, in your opinion, Bill, to this series? And Palmetier, we've looked at the games back, and whenever he's played well, we've had trouble. And he's played well so often against the Islanders. There's that glove stopped by Mike Palmetier.
Now they'll be changing lines quite frequently as the third period winds down. 6:53 remaining. There's the score. 2-2. 13 seconds left in the penalties. The teams are now 5 aside. And it's Lenny, number 24, with Salming. Salming's pass to McDonald. He couldn't move it by Lewis. Hooked it back though to Salming. He's up across center. The penalized players are back on. A long shot, gloved by Resch. And Trottier starting out. Here he comes. A play down to Lewis. Quick move to the right for Lewis. Lewis going in, dropping it. Gilly Sandman couldn't take that move. He was going to the net, then he had to hustle back and turn into the corner. Trottier ran into Turnbull in the corner, and they get a whistle as they hold it on the board. Detroit is up ahead of Montreal. That's the roar you hear now in the third period. This Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from the Nassau Coliseum on Long Island.
With music like this, you get huge sound pressure. And if your hi-fi system can't take it, you get breakout. So switch to the new Dynaharmony by Hitachi. Dynaharmony is really 2 amplifiers in 1, with a unique reserve circuit that gives you 100% more power when you need it, like now. Dynaharmony by Hitachi, 100% more power when you need it. Dynaharmony is at your nearest Hitachi dealer.
6 minutes and 17 seconds. That's the time remaining in the third period. Score tied 2-2. Donald out of position. Now they do it. Gillies let it go. That goes over the glass into the crowd. What a game at Montreal tonight, Brian.
Indeed it is. Errol Thompson has a pair of goals for the Red Wings. Dale McCourt has the third. Robinson and Cournoyer for the Montreal Canadiens. That'll be a surprise if Detroit steals one at the Forum. And the Leafs would love to get one out of here tonight. Go back to Toronto for the third and fourth game.
Well, this is anybody's game now. We have 6:14 remaining in the third period. It's tied 2-2. Salming in his own zone. Good goal. Good get by Bossy, and again, it went off Bossy's stick over the boards at the Leafs end.
There's the scoreboard. Chicago 3, Boston 3 there in overtime, and that's certainly a possibility here tonight. Philadelphia leading Buffalo 3-2 in the third period now.
And here it's 2-2. Hart from center right. Left at it. It's off the boards back of the goal. It finds its way out to the blue line and over it. And Matt Pavlich again. You see him there with the sharp eyes of a veteran linesman. He tells me this weekend he'll do his 200th NHL playoff game.
Yeah, Matt's done a great job over the years. Souvenir time, and they got the hard hat on. You know, there was a time at Stanley Cup play when the referee stepped out and wore a hard hat, but that was 60, 70 years ago.
Here's Hart from center ice. Again, he'll shoot it from there. And Volunteer stopped that with a stick. Gillies going after it. Every shot now is so important in the hockey game. With 5:45 remaining in the third period. Gillies slaps it up the line, cuts it in this time. On the Leafs, Turnbull bringing it out. He has Sickler with him. Turnbull slapped it. A hard shot was wide. Right in front it comes, and Rice had to go down as Maloney was upended going through the crease, looking for the loose puck.
So often you'll find Maloney in that spot. Boston has won in overtime, 4-3. There's the final. Boston 4, Chicago 3 in overtime. Don't have the score yet, but we'll get it for you.
There's Al Arbor. Wow, is it tense here in the Coliseum? You can't believe it.
Terry O'Reilly got it, Bob. Terry O'Reilly got the winner for the Bruins.
Face off to the left of Resch. The Leafs trying to poke it in. Salming. Keeping it in off the line. Salming gets set. Just handled around Merrick. Salming nearly got it loose in front. And it's slapped up by Butler. But now it's Merrick coming out. He was slammed on the board by Lenny. The Islanders carry on. Now bringing it in, but offside was Merrick. And I'll tell you, there's pressure on the officials even. That was very, very close.
There's Gary Howard arguing the...
Look at this.
Jimmy Jones out there, number 16. My, oh my, how he has come along as a hockey player. Couple of little men there, but scrappy little men. Jones and Howard. Howard, a 144th player taken in the 72 draft. 860 penalty minutes in only 379 games. Somebody asked him before the season last year how many he thought the Islanders would win, and he said, we'll win them all.
Okay, it's 2-2 right now, and it's 5:12 remaining in the third period as you see Matt Pavlich. And now Walker was just up to the bench. I believe Walker is going to get a penalty. Andy Van Hellen, the referee, you see him right there. Yes, sir, he's going. He walked right into the Islanders player. There's Walker.
That's a very bad time to take a penalty, a single penalty. If you're going to take one now, you better take a fellow with you from the other side. Kurt Walker, 26. This could be the most costly penalty of the hockey game. We'll have to see.
And we're not through yet. They're still pushing and shoving. You know, you can't believe it, but imagine. 10 minutes also to Walker.
14:48, so he just gets the misconduct and does not get the 2-minute minor, which was what we anticipated when he was sent to the box. Well, that's a break for the Leafs because they could be playing a man short had he drawn the minor penalty. Now he gets the 10-minute misconduct.
Okay, so Walker is off. On a misconduct penalty, and that's it. The teams are at full strength. 5:10 remaining in the third period. Score tied, 2-2. Salming missed it off the blue line. Here's Huntman holding it on the boards against Spenny. Salming trying to dig it out. Howard went in, blocked out. And there's going to be a penalty. So I think Jimmy Jones. Howard coming up swinging with Jones. Well, we're going to get a few penalties this time. No question about that, Brian.
Again, we'll have to wait for the decision to see whether Jones gets a 2-minute minor as well as a fighting penalty. Again, the Leafs could be behind the 8 ball should he do that. Jones not a scrapper, but he's scrapping here tonight with Howard. And he's picked on a tough one here at Gary Howard. As he controls. Jones 16, Howard 8. 15:08 of the third period. Oh, and this crowd is in an uproar now. Havlet, Gauthier, get in between them. Now the question is, will Jones get the additional 2 minutes as well as a fighting penalty? If so, the Leafs may be in trouble.
Howard and Jones will get measured. No question about that. And I believe the initial call was a minor on Jones. We'll have the official for you in a moment. Live from the Nassau Coliseum on Long Island, the Stanley Cup playoff.
Oh, well, Jones did get the other 2 minutes for charging. That's what we thought would happen. They both get 5-minute penalties. There's the charge by Jimmy Jones. 2 minutes for that. And Jones and Howard then draw additional 5-minute fighting penalties at 15:08. The crowd here still in an uproar, but happy with this turn of events because the Leafs will play short-handed.
Well, there's the referee, Andy Van Helleman. He's having quite a time in the third period, but his arm went up right away when Jones threw the check on Howard. And then Jones and Howard came up swinging. And boy, were they swinging.
Well, a referee told me once, Bob, that if you hesitate for a split second, you're lost. You must make the call as you see it exactly when it happens. And you're right, he threw the arm up there to signal the charging.
Well, here's the situation. The score is tied, 2-2. We have 4 minutes and 52 seconds remaining in the third period. And now, Jones, Maple Leafs draws 2 minutes for charging. So therefore, the Islanders have an advantage. Have on Ferguson was Salming, Lenny, and Butler. These are the penalty killers. The Islanders have Trottier, Bossy, Gillies, Potvin, and Pearson. And that's a very potent power play. Here's Potvin getting set to Bossy. Bossy back to Potvin. Behind the line. They set it up now. And there's a shot deflected up high. Ferguson getting his stick in front of it. A good play.
Another thing worth noting here, Bob Pat Dutet will be in the box serving the penalty as well for Walker, 2 minutes, and then Jones, who's a top penalty killer, they lose him, and he's a guy they really need out there now whenever there's a penalty.
They saw him again coming up in the Toronto zone to the right of Paul Matier. The Islanders keep coming on. The Leafs have had several good chances in this third period. They've tied the game. It's 2-2 now. 4:43 remaining in the third. Now the Islanders have the man advantage as the Leafs get it to fifth. Potvin with Pearson at the blue line. Pearson gets the pass. Backing up. Trottier swinging around. And Pearson decides to target himself. Now he hooked the high one in off the board. Trottier is in first. He was stopped by Salming. Bossy is in to help out. Bossy looks to Trottier standing in the corner. Goes the other way to Potvin. Potvin gets set. Down to Trottier. Trottier on a bad angle, can't shoot it. Up to Potvin to Bossy, right in front of the net. And Salming fires it down the ice. He lifted it high as he was falling. That used to stop it. Potvin in his own zone around Ferguson. 1 minute left from the lead penalty. Here come the Islanders on the power play line. It's Potvin dumping it in. Trottier going in after it against Salming. They bump on the board. Salming goes down. Tries to hold it to the skate. He does. And they get a whistle in the lead zone with 3:44 remaining in the third period. 2-2 is the score. And what a hockey game tonight.
Oh, everybody here just taking deep breaths. Salming taking a deeper one perhaps because he was really under pressure there, getting up so slowly, handing the official the puck, and he has done a tremendous job in killing penalties. I don't know how he's able to drag himself through his skates.
Islanders won the first game of this series on Monday night, 4-1, and looked like they had everything under control. But tonight, the Leafs came back out, and as we said at the start of the game, Brian, they began hitting both teams. But it's been very close. That young man there, Mike Palmatier, is probably one of the big reasons why the game is tied now. He's had many big saves, but of course, so has Rice at the other end. It's been rather even.
They're getting a little breather now. The Leafs are. First Palmatier, now Turnbull stepped on the ice momentarily. He's been ordered back.
There's the face-off. They didn't do it properly. They'll have to do it again to the right of Palmatier. Remember back into the first and early part of the second period when Resch had to be outstanding as the Leafs poured it on. Now the Islanders are pouring it on, and it's chipped away by Butler down the ice. 45 seconds left of the Leaf penalty. And coming back is Bossy. Here's Bossy drifting one right on. And Palmatier stopped that waist high. There by Butler on the board. He's riding it under the whistle, but it comes loose. Bossy fell. Butler shoots it down the ice, and good play by Jerry Butler. The Leafs think as the play goes on. And the Islanders regrouping now. Pass goes by Trottier. 18 seconds left in the penalty for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Bouchette serving the minor for Jones. Gets ready to step back on with 10 seconds left of that penalty. And the Islanders on this one, led by Mason. Down the boards, he was bumped. Kazicki couldn't pick it up. Now Ellis backhands the high one. That will kill the penalty as Bouchette is on. It goes down to the right of the net. Hart makes it back. And he touched it first and it's nicely called against Toronto.
That's a tribute to the Leafs being able to survive that. Bouchette was serving the 2-minute portion of the fighting penalty administered to Jones. He's back on the ice now. The final score is in. Just with last year, Boston over Chicago 4-3. That's what prompted the uproar. Walker serving the 10-minute misconduct. Jones, now it's still serving their 5-minute fighting penalty.
So the Bruins O'Reilly pulled it out at 150 of overtime to give Boston a 2-0 lead in that series. Right here, while the Islanders leading this series 1-0. This game is tied 2-2 with 2 minutes and 46 seconds remaining. And the fans going wild at the Nassau County Coliseum on Long Island. Now here's a quick shot. Didn't get it away. That was Henning. A weak backhander. And covering up was Palmatier. Every shot now, as we said earlier, is so important. We're going down to the final minutes of the third period. And you know what that means. If nobody can score in this third period, we'll get another overtime game tonight. In Montreal, the latest we've had was 3-2 for Detroit, leading Montreal, and they're in the third period. Now it's Hart getting set, screen shot, picked away by Palmatier, and McDonald has it. McDonald now coming up with Zipper on a 3-man blink for the Leafs. A pass didn't work for Maloney. The Islanders cover up, they're back to the Leaf blue line. Now the Leafs teams are getting organized again with 2:20 remaining in the third period. And Hart puts it away for Harris. Up the line and out over. And brought in by Turnbull, and the Maple Leafs are offside. 2 minutes and 18 seconds remaining in the third period. The score is 2-2.
Detroit has moved into a 4-2 lead over the Montreal Canadiens. Nick Libet has scored with 38 seconds left to play. Must be an empty net goal. 4-2 Detroit.
Well, that's a bit of news for hockey fans across the country. An upset in the making there in the Stanley Cup quarterfinals at Montreal. Now, it's New York Islanders moving it out of their own zone. At center ice is Merrick. Merrick shoots a high one in. Now we have 2 minutes remaining in the third period here in New York. And again, 5 players pile in on the boards and get a whistle in the Toronto zone with 1:05 remaining in the third period.
What a pace these clubs have set here tonight.
Zippler started this game scoring-wise. Pearson tied it up in the first period. make that Turnbull scoring in the first period, and Gillies tying it up. Then Bourne gave the Islanders the lead, and the Leafs came back to tie it again with Ferguson. Scored on a solo dash down the right side. Again, the puck goes over the glass into the crowd. 1:53 remaining. There's Johansson. He's in the pressure cooker down, his first playoff.
I saw him before the game, and he was in his long johns getting a couple of hockey sticks ready for the game tonight, Bob. I looked down, he kind of grinned over at me. He just sort of patted his stomach as though he was trying to keep control of all those butterflies down there.
Well, that shows you the confidence that Roger Nielsen has in this young man. He's been playing good hockey of late, and he's up there now with 1:53 remaining as the Islanders come on. Suzuki, number 21, got the draw, but right behind the net with a puck is Turnbull. Sittler winding up to the left side. Johansson standing to the right. 1:43 remaining. Now it goes to Sittler. Sittler coming out. He has some room now. He goes to center ice. Sittler speeding in for Toronto. Couldn't go through the defense. And it's Suzuki knocking it down. Playing it with Bourne. Suzuki dropping it for Bourne. Oh! And he put the high shot over the net. And it went over the glass into the crowd. And Bourne has been very dangerous around that league net tonight.
One reason he's been so dangerous is the playmaking of young Mike Kazicki. Watch it again. Bob Bourne, number 14, 2 points Monday night. Got a big goal to put the Islanders in front here in the third period until Ferguson tied it up. And there he goes high over the net.
1 minute and 25 seconds remaining in the third period. The score tied 2-2. Kazicki for the New York Islanders with Bob Bourne and Bob Nystrom. But the Leafs kept the draw. Slip a high one down the ice. Huntman is back with Lewis. And this is Lewis coming out. 1:15 remaining. A pass up by Glenny. Now it's poked away from Glenny by Kazicki. That was close. Here's Huntman trying to break in with Nystrom getting set. Nystrom took a shot. That's stopped by Paul Matier. Last minute of play in the third period. Ellis coming down with Ferguson. Long shot. And that was off the stick of Jerry Hart. Cleared by Russian on the board for Warren. Warren hooked it ahead. And it's Kazicki starting to center. 45 seconds remaining in the third period. And it's 2-2. It's cleared. Nystrom gets his chance now. He couldn't get by the Leafs defenseman Benny. He knocks it to the ice. And now Gillies ran into his man in the corner. 31 seconds remaining as the whistle goes. There's a big war now. The final score in Montreal. Detroit upending Montreal 4-2.
Wow. Well, now another team can knock off Montreal. The last 2 years, the Islanders have been the only club to be able to come up with a victory over the Stanley Cup defending Canadians. Moments ago here, Glenny made a tremendous check along the boards, playing the man, playing the body. You'll hear Howie Meeker and Bob Goldham discuss that so often and how important it is. Glenny taking his man right into the boards in front of that Leaf bench. And the Leafs have really been up for this game tonight.
Well, Nick Libet got the goal for the Red Wings in Montreal, the fourth goal, and as you point out, Brian, that sounds very much like an empty net effort by Libet. And Thompson playing a big role in that game for the Detroit Red Wings. He's been good for Detroit since the trade.
He has 2 goals tonight, and here the Islanders have lost only 4 home games all season long. What's going to happen with 31 seconds left and overtime looming?
We'll see now. The face-off is up to the left of Mike Paul Matier. Upshay on its center ice with Gillies and Harris and Dennis Huntman and Stephen Pearson. That's the New York Islanders lineup. The Leafs have McDonald with Sittler, who takes the draw against Trottier. Maloney is also on. And they got the draw. Pearson back to Huntman. Shoots one. And that hit McDonald. Gillies tried to knock it in front. Harris couldn't. McDonald has the 22 seconds remaining. Here's the pass to Maloney. McDonald reaching down with him. And McDonald is not going through. 14 seconds left. Here's Gillies going in. He's hit by Sittler and Paul. Sittler's long shot. Right on the net. 5 seconds remaining. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got overtime in this hockey game tonight. There's the horn. The third period is over. And the next time they come back out, these 2 hockey teams, they'll be going for all the marbles. First goal wins it. Sudden death coming up.
Jean-Paul Parise saw a lot of service with the New York Islanders, and some of it went into overtime. I know there was a game a couple of years back when you scored a pretty fast goal. What, just 11 seconds, wasn't it?
Yeah, I would have to say it was one of the most satisfying goal I've ever scored in my career.
Tell us a little bit more about it, Jean-Paul.
Well, I think it's just the whole thing was just a sort of a climax to what the club had gone through. The Islanders had never made playoffs before, and then we come back and we beat the Rangers. Our first game was at the Garden, so we went right there and beat them. And then they come right back at our Coliseum, and they cleaned us like about 8-3. So we went back there, and my God, we're going up and down the ice all night. The score should have been 6-0 in our favor going in the third period. All of a sudden, the tide changed a little bit, and we had them 3-0, and they scored 3 goals in the third period to tie us up. And it went in overtime, and it was sort of a funny deal because we started on the face-off, and Jude Drouin got the draw, and he passed it back, I think, to Dave Lewis. And he just crossed the red line. He shot it in the Rangers zone. And Jude Drouin raced in the corner. In the meantime, I just cruised more or less towards the front of the net, and all of a sudden the puck was on my stick, and I had the whole open net.
Game was over as fast as that. What do you think is going to happen here tonight?
I don't know. It's a very fine game. I think both clubs are playing extremely well. The goaltenders are great. I have to believe maybe it will be a power play goal or one of those fluky goals from in front of the net.
You know those Islanders pretty well, don't you? Now, who would be the most likely goal scorer? A fellow who might come through in the clutch, or could any one of them do it?
I think that the line of Mike Bossy, Mike Kazicki, Bobby Nystrom, and Bobby Bourne, they're the ones who have had the most good chances tonight. I have to believe one of those guys. If I was going to pick one of those guys or somebody to score a goal, I'd pick one of those guys.
How about picking a Leaf who might come up with the winner?
I don't know, because I was watching Daryl Sittler. I think he got hurt a little bit there. I think he got a Charlie horse. So depending how much how much time he's getting. But right now it seems like Ferguson is playing extremely well, and he's getting the good chances. And he's scored 2 goals, I think, in the series against Los Angeles, I believe. And he's hot, so it could be one of those guys too.
All right, a lot of fans don't recall, but you were once a Maple Leaf, weren't you?
For one game.
One game,
yes. I was playing in Rochester, and in fact, that was just before I got traded to Minnesota North Stars. Yeah, I was called up for one game. I got an assist, I think, and I was voted one of the stars of the game, and the following day I was shipped back to Rochester.
Well, I remember we named you the star that night, and you've certainly had a great career in the NHL ever since, and good luck to you with your club next year in Cleveland.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
Jean-Paul Parise has been our guest, and we'll be going to overtime in just a moment. Stanley Cup 78 continues in just a moment.
Okay, Brian, now the Leafs are just putting in an appearance. Here they come, hopping on. They look like they're ready to go. The Islanders have been on for a minute or so, and I doubt if you've just joined us, but if you have, we're into overtime. We're just getting ready for the first overtime period. The score is tied 2-2. There's Lanny McDonald, Mark Gillies, number 9, going the other way. And for this overtime, the New York Islanders will defend the goal to our left, and the Leafs will go to our right. This place is packed, as you can see. It's a beautiful, beautiful hockey stadium. It's the Nassau, I think it's Memorial Veterans Coliseum, something like that, on Long Island.
We always call it the rink.
The rink?
Everywhere hockey players go, it doesn't matter the fancy name they give the new structure. They always say, let's go to the rink for practice.
Veterans Memorial County Coliseum. I think that's the official name. The shortest overtime ever. There you see it, 11 seconds. 3 years ago. Now the Islanders won that one. Let's see what happens. Sittler goes to center ice against Trottier of New York. Dropped in. We're into overtime now. And Turnbull along the line for Salming. Salming coming up the long shot. Off the boards. Maloney coming in with Turnbull. It's called up the line. Offside. They're a little anxious, of course. Bossy. My goodness, what a year.
There's that longest overtime we were talking about during the intermission. Of their 5 overtime games, only one was at Long Island for the Islanders, and they won it 4-3 against Philadelphia.
for Turnbull. Turnbull shoots it in. Back to the net, it's skipped away from Rash. Mark Gillies can't move it. Lewis will try it the other way. Putman lets it go for Bossy. Bossy shoots to the center. The Leafs starting this overtime, looking like they're in control. It hit Gillies at center ice. Turnbull forced back in his own zone. Turnbull around the net with it. Cut off balance. Now hooks it up on the boards. It's still in there. The Islanders are pressing now for checking. It's knocked loose by Sittler. Now again they hold it. 5 players piling in. It comes loose again. The Islanders have it in the corner. Lewis. And he's stopped by Salming. This time they get a whistle for a face-off in the lead zone to the right of Paul Matier. They play 50 seconds of overtime. Salming has seen a lot of action tonight.
Well, I think back when the Leafs acquired him a few years back, and some of his friends in Sweden said, don't go to Canada, they'll really hammer you over there, you'll probably come back a cripple. And he did come to Canada, and he has made a tremendous impression in hockey wherever he has played. One of the really great players of our day.
Scoring in the hockey game in the first period, Turnbull and Gillies, both power play goals. No scoring in the second. Bourne gave the Islanders the lead in the third, and then Ferguson tied it. That's it to now. 50 seconds into overtime. And the face-off now to the right of Paul Matier. And these face-offs become increasingly important as the game wears on, as you can imagine. You see what I mean? Everybody anxious. Ellis came out of position before it was dropped, so they have to do it again. Sittler, big number 27, the captain of the Maple Leafs, against Wayne Merrick, number 11 of the New York Islanders. It's dropped in, comes back to the line, hard shot, that's picked away by Paul Matier. And the Leafs will clear it now. A long pass to Ellis to Sittler. Here's Sittler coming in, he has Ellis with him. Ellis shoots, and that was blocked by Hart. That went wide of the net. Now Pearson back of the goal for New York, coming out. A pass on the left side, Gary Hart through center. Gary Hart up near the line, away offside is Harris. On the right wing, they played 1:16 of the overtime period.
Hart out there with a beard. The Islanders trainer is even growing a beard because of the playoffs. We're having another line change now. We'll watch these coaches juggle these lines, and a little repair work going on at the blue line as well.
Now Mike Kazicki comes to center ice for the New York Islanders with Bob Nystrom, who had such a great game Monday night when the Islanders won the opener right here, 4-1. And over on the left side is Bob Bourne. This line has been hot tonight for the New York Islanders. Ferguson, who scored for the Leafs in the third period, is at center for Toronto. Boutet on the left side and Jerry Butler on the right wing. And it's Salming on the defense with Brian Glennie. Here's and Hart, the defense pair for the New York Islanders. This is Salming back on the net, bumped by Kazicki. Ferguson stopped by Nystrom. He's dangerous. He couldn't get a shot away. It comes back in front. Nystrom is knocked down. Now the Leafs get a break. Here's Boutet to center ice. Coming down is Ferguson after it. Ferguson going in. He took a high stick. Accidental high stick, and Ferguson has been cut, I think. He's going off. There he goes. And the Islanders come out. Not very far. Sittler shoots. And he had Fresh going the other way, but missed the goal for that shot. Here's Salming going in. Salming gets a chance. Pass it in front of the net, and Bourne comes away with Nystrom. Here's Bourne racing down. He's been great tonight for New York. Here he goes back to the net. Bourne rolling in front of Nystrom. Couldn't reach the pass. He was right in the crease in front of Paul Matier. Now Salming coming out again, and there's Sittler moving down. Oh, look out! Sittler was really belted by Trottier. It shook him up, I think. The Leaf captain moving in slowly. But he's still on there. He hasn't gone up. Sittler took a heavy check from Trottier seconds ago. Now it's Putman coming in. Putman over the line. Rolled it into the corner. He got in front of the net in position, but Trottier couldn't set him up. And they hold it on the board. In the Leaf zone to the right of Paul Matier.
You singled out that check by Trottier on Darryl Sittler, and it really staggered the Leaf captain. Trottier is so deceptive. He's not a tall man, but is he ever solid? Glennie racked him up a couple of times tonight, and he just bounced right back. Sittler will do the same thing. Knowing Sittler, he'll bounce right back, too, and he'll keep an eye out for Trottier next time.
is one of the more productive players in more ways than one in the National Hockey League right there, narrow sitter. I don't think that man knows what it is to take it easy on a ship. When he gets out over the board, he goes, and he goes, he takes everything, and there he is. You saw that heavy check Trottier put on him, and he's still on there. If there ever was a leader, there's one there. There are many in the National Hockey League. Here's a pass by Trottier. Trottier gets the chance, took the shot, a rebound, grab ball! No, they score! Yeah! It's in the net! It's all over, and the New York Islanders have won this exciting hockey game, jamming at Lake Salvatier, and the creek goes wild. The Islanders are congratulating each other. The Leafs are putting up a protest. Andy Van Hellemond, the referee, was right behind net when the puck went in from a tremendous scramble. In front of Salvatier, the Leafs are reluctant to leave the ice. Who can blame them? What a battle they put up. But the Islanders win it. 3-2 in overtime. New York Islanders take a 2-0 lead in the series at 2:50 of overtime. I honestly can't say who got the goal because it was a wild scramble. Here it is. Mike Bossy gets it. Mike Bossy scores the overtime winner. Watch it on the replay. The Islanders holds it in. Puck on its way. Trotier's there. He whacks at it. Bossy moves in. He whacks at it. He gets another chance. As Trottier almost smothered the puck. And a third chance. Van Hellemond is there and he signals the goal. Yes, it counts. And the Islanders win it. Watch it again as Bossy, 22, scores the overtime winner. There they whack at it once, twice, and 3 times coming up before it goes in. And this place goes wild. Well, isn't that Bossy something else? There's a big picture of Bossy on that big scoreboard over center ice. They do it all here in New York. There's young Mike Bossy. What a big year, 53 goals, and now 2 goals in this playoff series. He got one Monday night, and that's a big one, probably his biggest of the season so far, as the Islanders went in 3-2 at 2:50 of overtime to take a 2-0 lead in a best-of-7 series. And now these two great hockey teams go back to Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto for the next game, Friday night, and the 4th on Sunday.
That was as thrilling a playoff game as you could ever hope to see. Bossy gets the winner in overtime. Trottier and Potvin draw assists at 2:50.
And so, the final score in this second game, the New York Islanders 3, the Toronto Maple Leafs 2.
Well, Howie, a quick end. Mike Bossy scores his second of the playoffs, second against the Leafs this season, and the Islanders certainly had enough people there trying to get the puck in the net. The question was it free all the time? And Andy Van Hellemond couldn't have been positioned any better.
No, he was sitting right off the edge of the crease, and I think in the replay you'll see that hit the top of his head in the picture all the time, and he saw it exactly the same as the television camera. But I'll tell you, at one point, I think it was Trottier's hand went down and come on the puck, and it went underneath Palmetier's pad and squirted loose, and there was the youngster sitting right there to put it in. Not a bad ending to a hockey game. I kind of thought the Toronto Maple Leafs would have the edge going into overtime, but the Islanders applied just too much pressure.
Well, the 3 stars, we should get to them. Number 1 star is the guy who quarterbacks this Islander team, and it was never more apparent than tonight.
Well, in his own end, I think he's probably the best puck handler in the league. He can make the pass. He can also carry the puck out, and he's got, I think, actually the best wrist shot. Not a snapshot, but the best wrist shot. Up in the point, he's excellent and controls their power play.
This isn't a quiz. We're talking about Dennis Potvin, if anybody wants to know. Second star, Ian Turnbull, who drew praise from Howie when we talked earlier. And Bob Bourne, who was the most dangerous Islander forward all night, and did score a very big goal to put the Islanders in front in the 3rd period. Elsewhere, if you've missed the other scores, we would like to tell you what happened. The Canadians were upset by Detroit, 4-2. Dale McCord a couple of late second-period goals to tie it, and Errol Thompson won it for the Red Wings. Boston in overtime with O'Reilly, beating the Chicago Blackhawks 4-3, and the Philadelphia Flyers took a 2-game lead over the Buffalo Sabres, winning 3-2 tonight at the Spectrum. Here is the overtime hero, Mike Bossy, and Howie Meeker spoke about somebody's hand on the puck. I don't know if it probably happened so quickly you couldn't tell exactly what was going on there, but what were your recollections about where that puck was that you were trying to get into the net?
Well, Dennis came in and had shot, and it hit Palmateer's pad and squirted loose, and Brian took a shot and it hit his pad again, and then Brian got flattened in front of the net. And then I had 3 swipes at it before it went in, and it was never under Palmateer's pad. It might have, everybody might have lost sight of it for a couple of seconds, but it kept on coming back, and I thought the whistle had gone, and I still wondering how come I was standing up in front of the net.
Well, I'm sure that some Leaf fans would wonder why there's so many Islanders there and why you were standing up. But let's just take it again, and perhaps there's the shot. Now, you can see the picture.
No, it comes out, and you see Brian takes a shot at it, and it comes out, and I took one shot. I took another shot here under Brian's arm, and then it came out again, and just as Dan was putting me down, I got another stick on it.
Well, you had no doubt there. You knew the puck was in the net, but you say you were a little surprised that you hadn't heard a whistle.
No, I thought after I'd given a swipe under Brian's arm, I thought the whistle had gone. The reason why I did think the whistle was gone because I was still standing there.
Okay. Now, this series started on a surprising note with you playing on a different line with Kazicki and Bourne, and it worked out very well. Tonight, you were back for the most part with Brian and Clark Gillies. What is your understanding as to Al Arbour's thinking in first breaking up the line, then putting it back together tonight?
Well, Al is the coach, and I never question what Al does. I think he was just trying to get everybody ready for the first game, moving the lines around, trying to get everybody sharp because it had been 8 days since we hadn't played, and things went real well. And I just think it was another part of his strategy to put us back together tonight, and things went well again tonight. But it's only, I mean, it's 2-0 the series. You have to get 4 to win, and it's far from over.
Well, Mike, you can fit in anywhere. You had a couple of points the other night with your new line mates, and what bigger thrill can there be? I guess, how does this compare with goal number 50?
Well, it's a bigger thrill to get this one because it is a Stanley Cup game. I was really happy when I got my 50th. Only mainly because it had been so long since I had scored a goal, but I'm just glad that I could help the team tonight.
Mike, thank you for joining us, and congratulations. Friday night, 2 more games for the network, National in Detroit, Southern Ontario, Toronto. Good night from Long Island. On CBC, Hockey Night in Canada, brought to you by Ford of Canada, on behalf of Ford and Mercury dealers from coast to coast. Ahead and participating retailers and record companies in Canada. The Bank of Nova Scotia, with nearly 1,000 branches across Canada to serve you. Molson, brewers of Molson Canadian Lager Beer. This program is protected by copyright and is intended solely for the entertainment and enjoyment of the viewing audience. Reproduction by any means, in whole or in part, without the expressed written permission of Hockey Night in Canada, is prohibited.
This is CBC,